Wayne Barnes. I first heard of Jim Rohn about 10 years ago. I heard him speak in Phoenix, and it majorly changed my life. I started taking some notes, and as he spoke, I took more and more meticulous notes. I tape recorded what he had to say, found out where he was going to be going next. He was going to Albuquerque. I followed him around to a number of cities, and I kept those tape recordings and notes, and I applied everything he said. I read the books he said. I changed my mannerisms to fit some of the suggestions he had, and a few years later, Jim Rohn came through Phoenix, and I walked up to him and I said, "You don't remember me, but I'm Wayne Barnes, and I just made over $1 million. You followed some of your principles, and I just want to thank you." And we went and had dinner, and later we became friends, and we've had an interesting life. We've went sailing together on our boats, and we've shared a lot of our experiences, and I really enjoy the friendship we've created. The suggestions and the things that he's given you today, he gives at quite premium prices to people all the way around the world, and I hope that you take good notes. I think that you'll find it a major contribution to your life, just like it was to mine. And so with this, Jim Rohn.
Thank you. Thanks, Wayne. It's nice to have friends say such good things about you. I just finished a lecture a couple of hours ago for Sony Corporation, and some of the big wheels were there from Japan, along with about 160 other sales and management and administration people. So that was kind of exciting. Farm boy from Idaho lecturing to Sony Corporation. It's got to be one heck of a story. For you that haven't heard my story, I grew up in Idaho and lived a fairly normal, average American life. Got married at about age 22. At age 25, I'm taking a look at my life, and I wasn't very happy. I was behind on my bills and behind on my promises and behind on my personal development. And I had a lot of things to be concerned about. With a paycheck on Friday of $57, it didn't look like I was going to be a smashing success. And I had already figured they weren't going to write any books about me, unless books called What Not to Do, because I had done some things wrong and backwards and sort of drifted off course. But then, a unique thing happened to me. I met a very wealthy, remarkable man by the name of Mr. Schoaf. And a friend of mine worked for him and kept saying, "You got to meet this man." And I had a chance to meet him. And sure enough, that meeting was a significant milestone in my life. A few months later, this remarkable, wealthy, unique man hired me, and I went to work for him, spent 5 years before he died. And I accumulated from him during that 5 years ideas that changed my income, changed my personality, changed my bank account, changed my fortune-making potential. So I will always be grateful for meeting somebody who shared ideas. Then I promised him before he died that to the best of my ability, I would share the ideas he shared with me. I would pass them along. And I didn't know it was going to mean coming to Arizona State and lecturing, because I was going to pass them along to other people like he did with me in the course of business, right? Sitting at a breakfast table, a conference table, sharing the ideas with my business colleagues. But then about 19 years ago, I got the idea that perhaps I should share these ideas with the public. And I thought maybe they'd like to hear the things that helped me to make my fortune. So I put together some notes, didn't do too well on that first one. I stood up and my mind sat back down. But at least I tried. I'm comfortable in the boardroom, a little more nervous on the platform. But I thought at least I've got to try. Maybe people would appreciate knowing some of the things that really made major changes in my life. So from that small attempt, starting almost 20 years ago, I've been devoting part of my business time to lecturing. And about 14 years ago, it became a business. So now I get to travel to lots of countries, lots of cities, and I get to lecture and share the ideas that I think can make a major difference in how your life works out. And it's great to be invited back to Arizona State, back to the same room where we were, about 30 days ago. It says something to be invited back. Maybe it doesn't say everything, but it says something. Maybe it says, let's give him one more chance, see if he can pull it out this time. But anyway, I'm pleased to be back, and I feel comfortable, and some of you I recognize have been to a couple of my lectures since I was here last. I've got some more coming up. Look forward to seeing you. But I'd like to share with you today skills for success in the marketplace. The marketplace is a demanding place. There's plenty of opportunity, but you've got to get ready for it and prepared for it. That's part of your stay at Arizona State, is getting ready. Big chunks of our life are designed for getting ready and getting prepared. We've got to spend a portion of this year getting ready for next year. And we've got to spend a portion of the 80s getting ready for the 90s. Hopefully the reason why we're here, looking well, doing fairly well, is because we spent a portion of the 70s getting ready for the 80s. So a big share of life is getting ready, getting prepared. And part of it is the development of skills. And I've got a good key phrase for you here to start with in skills that make for success in the marketplace. First, it starts with personal development, self-improvement, making measurable progress. Personal development is not an easy matter. It's a push. It's a struggle. It's a challenge. But that's what life is all about, the challenge. There wouldn't be any winning without a challenge. If I took a football and walked across the goal line out at the stadium today, I'm sure none of you would call it a touchdown. We don't call it a touchdown until you face the 260-pounders across the line. And then if you can make it through, score what we call a touchdown, now we call you winner. Now we call you accomplished. But that's what life is all about. It's the struggle and the challenge to develop ourselves and our skills to see what we can create in the way of value in the marketplace. And that's what life is all about, creating skills and value, and take those skills and value to the marketplace and see what it will return for you. Now it also has social part, spiritual part, as well as the physical part. We're going to talk about some of those parts. Personal development is not an easy matter. New habits don't come easy, but they can be developed. Sometimes when you develop a lot of momentum in one direction, it's not that easy to change, but it is possible to change. It isn't easy, but it's possible. Somebody once said success is 10% inspiration, 90% perspiration. You've just got to read the books, learn the skills, put yourself through the paces, do the mental push-ups, and get yourself ready. Inspiration is fine, but inspiration must lead to discipline. It's one thing to be motivated, but it's another thing to be motivated sufficiently to take the classes, do the reading, do the repetition, go through it over and over until it becomes part of you. And those are challenges. They're not easy, but they're challenges that if you win and develop and grow, that's what determines your place, your return, your equity, the worth you get from the marketplace. I've divided personal development into three parts. Let me give you those. First is spiritual. And I know when you talk spiritual, you can get an argument most anywhere. But I have a simple belief that says humans are not just animals. Some people believe we're just an extension and an advanced form of the animal species. But humans are a bit unique. Spiritual qualities, that unique part of us that makes us different from all other creation. And that's a good study, and I'm an amateur on that side of it, so I can't give you a lot of advice there, but I would be a student of the spiritual side of your nature. And whatever you have to read and assimilate to develop in that area, I would strongly suggest you do so. Here's the other two parts, physical and mental. And I've got a good phrase for you to make note of. The mind and the body work together. So we've got to give some attention to both development of mind and body. On the physical side, there's a unique Bible phrase that says, treat your body like a temple. It's not a bad word. A temple, something you would take extremely good care of. Treat your body like a temple, not a woodshed, right? A temple. Take good care of it. The only house we have to live in currently, right, is the physical body we have. And that's part of success in the marketplace, is physical well-being, feeling good about yourself physically, so that you stride into the marketplace with a sense of self-worth and self-confidence, having taken care of that end of it. It covers several parts. Good nutrition. Shoaff got me hooked on good nutrition. My parents, my father's 82, my mother's 75, you'd probably call them health nuts. Right? They really pay strict attention, but the payoff has been so incredible. My father's 82, he's got 20 more years of goals. And my parents are both still working extremely hard, all kinds of projects they're working on, making money. They got tax problems this year, right? That's pretty good at 82, right? Tax problems. I like that. So physically, you can do extremely well if you just pay some attention. Part of it's good nutrition. Read all the books, make up your own mind, right? There's a lot of weird conflicts in the nutritional aspects, but you just got to read and decide for yourself what's a good plan for you, good health plan. They got some weird stuff in California where I'm from, but you can sort through all the weird stuff. Unless you're weird, you just do the weird stuff, right? But there's all kinds of stuff to consider in taking care of yourself physically. The other, right, good exercise program, right, taking care of yourself physically. The other is physical appearance. To do well in the marketplace, that's one skill, to be skillful enough to take care of your appearance in the marketplace. It has a lot to do with your acceptance on the job, performing, company, corporation, community. A big share of it is how you appear to other people. I've got a good Bible phrase for you. It says, God looks on the inside, people look on the outside. That's not a bad suggestion, meaning take care of the inside for God, take care of the outside for people. You say, well, people shouldn't judge you by your appearance. Well, let me give you a point. They do. Right? Don't base your life on shoulds and shouldn'ts. Only base your life on realities. Now, sure, when people get to know you, they'll judge you by more than what they see, but at first, they're going to take a look. Okay? So physical appearance is part of the physical side of the personal development to take care of. Now, I got another good phrase for you that I think is a good balance. It says, be conscious of self, but not self-conscious. There's a certain point we need to be conscious of ourselves, to a point to take care of it, but then let it go. Some people worry about their appearance all day, and it detracts rather than adds. So it's called take care of it, let it go. Do the best you can, let that get the job done. Okay, conscious of ourselves, but not to the point of being self-conscious. Now, here's the third part to personal development, the mind. Mind stretch, mind exercise. This is part of your stay here, Arizona State. Stretch your mind, thinking habits, developing good study habits, developing ways and means and methods of pursuing ideas, coming up with the logic of information, trying to find ways to apply it to human behavior, the marketplace, carve out your spot. All of that takes mind stretch and mind exercise. Part of it is stretching yourself in reading habits. You can't live on mental candy, so you got to have the full range of mental food in order to grow. We call that mind stretch. Part of your stay here is to tackle things that other people have found a little too difficult, but you've decided to see it through and see if you can't master it. That's part of your education here. That's part of what gives you an extraordinary edge in the marketplace. Your willingness to tackle subjects that are difficult that most people have decided to let slide. Right? Some kids your age, right, have decided just to get a job and let the rest of the education slide. But you've tackled some rather heavyweight subjects, right? This being one. How can you master part of the high skills, the extraordinary skills that make you an unusual performer in the marketplace? It takes mind stretch. Some people skip poetry and literature, the Bible, history, and a lot of things that seem a little difficult to attack. But if you always back away from something that seems a little difficult at first, you leave yourself weak and you leave yourself unprepared in the marketplace. So don't be afraid to tackle the heavyweight stuff. It may be a lot easier than you think once you get into it and learn skill after skill. Another part of mind stretch is learn the other side of the argument. And whether you're debating spiritual, political, physical, behavior, whatever it is, don't be afraid of the other side of the argument. In our last class, I think we talked about Communism teaches capital belongs in the hands of the state. We teach capital belongs in the hands of the people. And that's a great debate, whether capital belongs in the hands of the state or the people. Now, some people say, oh, don't tell us what communism teaches. Well, if you're going to be a good debater, you got to know the other side of the argument. So that's what I'm asking you to do. Don't be afraid of the other side of the argument. Okay? If you're strong mentally, you can handle it. Okay. And you got to give people points, right, for their side of the argument. I was in Canada one time, listened to a speech, extreme liberal position, rather than the conservative, rugged individualism, right? But the guy had a good point. He said, "Every man for himself," said the elephant as he danced among the chickens. I thought, pretty good point. I got to give him one for that. So give credit to somebody that's got a good point, even though you don't agree with their argument. You must agree that they came up with a good point. So that's part of mind stretch, studying the other side of the argument. Now, part of all of this is developing what I call a personal development library. Mr. Schoaf got me started back when I was 25, and since I'd missed most of my college education, here's what he said to me. I pass it along to you. He said, be self-educated. In fact, education doesn't cease when you leave college, leave the university. Education is a lifetime process. We keep putting ourselves through the paces to learn. That's how you get into the higher numbers income. That's how you get into the higher brackets enterprise. That's how you become a more useful, productive, valuable citizen, making a contribution to family, community, country, enterprise. Is to work hard on developing these skills and be self-educated. Mr. Schoaf said to me, standard education gets you standard results. And he said, if I were you, I would check those numbers and see if that's what you want to settle for. But he said to me, why not go beyond the standard and the average and the acceptable and become the advantaged, the extraordinary, the extra capable? And I picked up on that. Because I had decided back at age 18, 19, just to get a job and work hard, do the best I could. And Schoaf said there's a lot more to life than that. Why don't you master some extraordinary skills? Why don't you move up to the higher performance and see if you wouldn't find the taste better in the results you get from that exercise? I did that. Now, your personal development library needs to be a whole mix. It can't just be a single piece of it. Some people these days are just into self-improvement, self-help, inspirational things, but since you can't live on mental candy, you need more than that. Our library needs to be balanced like the pantry in your kitchen. You can't be strong just on the easy stuff. You got to tackle the full range. History. If you haven't got this book, I recommend it. Lessons of History by Durant. The Durants wrote, I think, 11 volumes on civilization. Lessons of History by Durant. It's only 100 pages. You can read it in one evening. But once you read it, I think you'll read it over and over and over. It is such a classic, and it's so well done. You'll appreciate the language, the style, the flow, as well as the concepts and the ideas. It's a capsule view of history in 100 pages. I mean, it's an extraordinary, small but very powerful book. Lessons of History. We should all be better students of history. Our own history, our own roots, our own country, our own state, our own community, right? Our own family history. And then, of course, we should study world history. It's major. Next is biographies, autobiographies, studying people who have done unique things, both admirable and despicable. We need to be students of both. We need a book on Gandhi and a book on Hitler. I've got a unique book in my library, probably isn't available anymore, called The First Billionaire, Story of Henry Ford. There's a lot of billionaires now, but Henry was number one. Back when $1 billion was a lot of money. The first billionaire. Fascinating story. We take great delight, right, in reading stories of unique people who overcame all kinds of odds, started small and developed into something unique, admirable. Novels, sometimes novels are great ways of sharing dialogue and ideas and philosophy woven into the story. Sometimes the sweep of the story carries us along, but sure enough, little by little, we're getting the dialogue. Ayn Rand had a unique way, right, of building this towering novel, but weaving her philosophy all the way through the stories. The dialogue, the conversations, the communication. One of the best in dialogue movies is called Lion in Winter. Peter O'Toole, Katharine Hepburn. It's a fascinating story in a movie, but the dialogue, the sweep, the questions, the give and take, the exchange is so incredible. The use of language to paint pictures and ideas. It's a classic. It's a classic. Then we need the full range of culture, the dance, the arts, literature. By the way, there's another good book. Let me give you the title. It's called How to Read a Book. Nice simple title. How to Read a Book by Mortimer Adler. Mortimer Adler is the chief editor of the new Encyclopedia Britannica. He's 85 years old, still going strong, and still writing books. He was interviewed on one of his books last year called The 6 Great Ideas. Mortimer Adler, unique philosopher. He's also got a brand new book out. How to Speak, How to Listen. If you walk into the bookstore, you'll probably see 4 or 5 books written by Mortimer Adler. He conducts a workshop still, age 85, up in Aspen. He's incredible. But he wrote this book, How to Read a Book. Now, from the book, How to Read a Book, he's got some good points in there on how to master a book, how to take the good stuff that's in the book and make it a part of your own consciousness. Excellent. But here's what else is in there. A list of the great books. And I'm sure you've come across a variety of lists, but this is a pretty good one. The best books ever written according to Mortimer Adler. Not a bad guideline to follow. I've used it, in part at least, in building my own library. How to read a book. Then we need books on geography and language. We also need to study a bit of law. Some of you may be pursuing that direction, I don't know. No matter what you're going to do in life, we all need a bit of a fundamentals on law, contracts, what to sign, what not to sign. Almost everything now has legal implications, right? Everything now is a bit complicated. I remember one time a company wanted to borrow some money from a bank. The bank said, yes, we will loan this company the money if Mr. Rohn will sign personally. And I knew these people. I wanted to play hero, and I knew they could pay the money back. So I said, yes, I will sign. So I signed for the note, $250,000. And the company borrows the money. About 10 months later, they pay it all back. I'm a hero. Well, about a year later, this same company gets in financial trouble. They go back to the bank and borrow this $250,000 again. But I'm not on this one, right? And I say to myself, I'm glad I'm not on that loan. I wouldn't sign it, not for $1 million. But then I get a letter about a year later when the company goes bankrupt and cannot meet their obligation to the bank. The bank writes me this letter and says, Dear Mr. Rohn, since we have here your guarantee, and since the company cannot meet its obligation, would you send us your personal check for $250,000? I thought there must be some mistake. I was on that first loan, right? But they paid it back. I wouldn't have signed the second one, not in a million years. But guess what I didn't know I had signed originally? A continuing guarantee. I didn't know. So, I'm asking you now, learn what to sign, take my little bit of lesson there that was extremely costly. I now read everything more carefully. I one time added up what the word continuing cost me. And believe me, it's expensive. So we all need some understanding. Personal development library. Okay, there's a lot of other things we could mention, but I've got some more of these skills to cover, so we can't take too much time. Next. In personal development, I've developed 5 steps to success, or 4. Let me give you four. 4 steps to success. In the quest for personal development, here's part of the major subjects to study. 4 steps to success. Here's the first one, good ideas. Ideas are the life seeds of enterprise, and the better life comes first of all by the search for good ideas. Never cease your quest for knowledge. Finding ideas can be life-changing. Business ideas, social ideas, personal ideas. Somebody once said, nothing is so powerful as an idea whose time has come. Timely ideas, political ideas, family ideas, ideas for health, skill, uniqueness. So be a searcher of good ideas, and then do what I do. I don't have my journal here handy, but keep a journal, keep a log of good ideas. We call this for the serious students. I used to take notes on pieces of paper and found out I couldn't go through them, couldn't catalog them, and I missed a lot of good stuff. So I learned to keep good ideas in a journal. And I've been keeping journals now all these years. It's an extension of your learning library. In fact, there are 3 treasures to leave behind. Let me give you this, 3 treasures to leave behind. One is your pictures. Take lots of pictures. Picture taking is one of the phenomenons of the 20th century, and it's easy to take phenomenons for granted. Right? We can record the event now in a fraction of a second. Did you ever look back 2 or 3 generations, just a handful of pictures? Boy, if they'd have had the technology of today, we could have had such a better history by all the pictures, so take lots of pictures. Number 2 in the success ladder, be a student of good plans. Plans are important because they take ideas to the marketplace. Plans give birth to ideas. Plans well executed bring ideas into enterprise, bring ideas into the better life. Ideas without plans forever hang like an artist's rendering on the wall. They never become reality. They never become substance. They're only dreams that are born dead without activity. So I'm asking you, learn good plans, good disciplined activity plans. Riches do not come by crossing your fingers, walking through the day hoping. Riches and wealth come from well-laid plans. In my last session with you, we learned if a child starts between the ages of 12 and 15 with a good plan and a normal average income, by age 40 they should be wealthy. At 45, the latest, with a good wealth plan and average income between ages 12 to 15 and 45 is enough time to become wealthy. Now, if you're not wealthy by age 45, it simply means you didn't have a good plan. Opportunity without good plans misses all the worth and the wealth you could have. So be a student of good plans. Here's the next part to the success formula, the 4 steps. The passing of time. All of us have to learn to handle time. It's one of the challenges of life, how to handle the passing of time. Here's sometimes something a little difficult to handle, waiting from spring till fall. That's not an easy stretch, especially if you have heavyweight creditors. You've planted in the spring, and now the creditors are on you in the summer. We have a tendency to walk out into the field and say, grow, crop, grow. They're on me. But we have to learn to wait. You know, part of it is patience. And Americans probably have to learn patience more than any other people on earth in our push-button society. Right? But it takes patience. The passing of time. The 4th step in the success ladder is the solving of problems. It's a simple way to put success. Success is simply solving problems. Now, there's all kinds of problems. Business problems, family problems, personal problems, financial problems, emotional problems, right? We've all got problems. Everybody's got a list of problems. The rich merely ask for a longer list. Problem solving is where enterprise comes from. This is how you build worth and wealth. Solving the problems. I met Neil Armstrong one time, first man on the moon. I met him in Chicago. He's got a unique talk, his experiences being the first man on the moon. And Neil Armstrong put it fairly simply. He said, going to the moon and back was simply a matter of solving problems. I thought, what a neat, simple way to put it. Problem 1, how to get there. Problem 2, how to get back. That's simple, right? And he said, make sure you don't leave till you've solved both problems. Well put. Now, sure, some things are complicated, but if you take it piece at a time and solve the problems, put it back together, you can't believe the enterprise you can build, the life you can build, the skills you can build. Take it piece at a time, master it, put it back together, solve it. Now, let me give you another tip on solving problems. This was helpful for me. Learn to solve them on paper. I learned this some time ago. You've got to commit some of your thoughts to paper. If you just deal out of your head all the time, it's easy to make too many errors, right? You wouldn't build a house out of your head. You take what's in your head, put it on paper, work it out, and then you work from the document, work from the paper. And sometimes problem solving is the same kind of challenge. First of all, to put it on paper. Take a piece of paper, divide it in half, put the problem over here. And you just spend a little time outlining the problem. Instead of just thinking about it, put your thoughts on paper. The executives I work with around the world who do extremely well, most of them use this kind of strategy, putting a problem on paper. It helps you to focus. It helps you to zero in. Now, when you state the problem, to the best of your ability, you just add one question: is that all of it? You say, well, we're not to dwell on problems. No, we're not to dwell on them or live in them, but at least you've got to state them, because you can't solve them till you clearly define them. Okay? Now, let me give you part of the answer to solving problems. The solutions. Answers to solving problems fall into 3 simple questions, and let me give you those questions. And I think for problem solving, it's important to go through these questions 1, 2, 3. Okay? Here's the first one. What could I do to solve the problem? What could I do? And then you start developing what we call working papers. And I know all of you in university, right, are familiar with working papers. Working papers simply are doing your best, right? You say, well, here's number 1, that's an answer, potential answer. Number 2, that's a possibility. Number 3, that's a possibility. You just start laying out possible solutions. Then we teach, go back and analyze these solutions. Number 3, you've already come to the conclusion, is it would take too long. Okay. Number 2, too big a question mark. Number 1, this is probably it. My first inclination was right. Study that a little more and see if that's it. Okay? Develop what we call working papers. So the first step to solving a problem is write it down. Number 2, develop working papers on possible solutions of what you could do. Now, if that doesn't do it, here's the second question to ask. What could I read? Sure enough, there may be a book. There may be a text. There may be a cassette. There may be a video. There may be some form, outline on your particular problem. Okay? If you went to the library, you might find a whole section, right, on your problem. You say, gosh, there's 50 books here. There's bound to be some answers. So now you start going through the books, okay? Book 1, book 2, book 3. Okay, and start developing your reaction to what you're reading, right? Number 1, you say, this guy's crazy, right? Because you're going to come up with some crazy stuff, weird stuff, right? But you just go through all these books, okay? Developing your own analysis with these books of the stuff you've read, okay? That's the second question, what could I read? Here's the third question in solving a problem. Who could I ask? Now, here's the key. Don't hesitate to ask. But let me give you the next clue. Don't ask first. If you always just ask, usually you don't develop the skills in solving problems. Let me tell you what's more valuable than the solution to a problem. Answer: the skills of solving problems. The skill is more valuable than the answer. The answer to a problem we call temporary. Skills in solving problems we call permanent. So it's not just answers we need, it's skills we need. Concentrate on these 5 abilities. I call these the 5 abilities that help you skillfully attack the marketplace to do well. Here's the first ability. Develop the ability to absorb. The ability to absorb. The ability to soak in, take in, be like a sponge. Sitting in class, sometimes it's easy to daydream. It's easy to be preoccupied. It's easy to be somewhere else. I read a good article once, though, in Reader's Digest. The title was, "Wherever You Are, Be There." I thought that was excellent. Be there. Concentration, right? The sports stars will tell you, all you need is just a slight miss of concentration. They put one by your feet, and there goes the championship. Just a slight slip of concentration. Now, it's also important in learning extra skills to really pay attention, absorb, take in. I have a wealthy friend of mine. I swear it's more exciting to have him go to Acapulco and come back and tell you about it than it is to go yourself. I mean, it's unbelievable. Let me tell you why. When he's there, he doesn't miss anything. He soaks it all up. His mind is like a movie projector that takes it all in, the sights and the sounds and the smell and the color and the people and what's going on. He sees it all. Then he also has the gift of expression. When he comes back, he can tell you about it, word for word, detail, detail. When he talks, you can feel the water lapping on your feet. Right? You can smell the aroma of the food. You can see the sights and the sounds and the color and the people. I mean, he's got these gifts, the gift to take it in and then the gift to share it. And those are extremely excellent skills to work on. And that first one is absorb. Let me give you a good clue. Most people are trying to get through the day. I've got a better objective for you. Learn to get from the day. Not just get through it, get from it. Soak it up. Each day is a piece of the mosaic of your life. Don't waste any. Treat them with care. See how much you can get from a day. How much advice, how much information, how much color, how much sight and sound to add to your worth and your wealth and your equity of mind. Here's the next skill. Develop the skill to respond. The ability to be affected by what you see and hear and sense. Success is not just knowledge. Success is response to knowledge. Success is not just experience. Success is emotion created from experience. It's the emotional part that plays such a big, major part in our life and our future and our success. Responding to life means let sad things make you sad. Let happy things make you happy. Let puzzling things puzzle you, right? Let things that are difficult create difficulty for you. Respond. I'm the greatest guy in the world to take to the movies. I get affected by a good movie. I'm willing to go. If they want to take me on a journey, if it's a good movie, good dialogue, something good to see, watch this whole story unfold, I'm willing to go. I forget everything and just go. Be affected by it. I was in Melbourne, Australia, not that long ago, and I saw an advertisement. See Dr. Zhivago on the big screen. I thought, I got to go see it on the big screen, right? They got these little cracker box theaters now, right? I like the big movie theaters with the drapes and the chandeliers and the balconies, right? I mean, that's the movies. These little cracker boxes now, right? Popcorn 2 feet deep. I mean, you know, when you walk out of your shoes because they stick to the floor. I mean, it leaves a lot to be desired. But to see a movie in a proper movie theater on the big screen, I got enticed by it. And I'd seen Dr. Zhivago, I don't know, probably half a dozen times, right? I said, I got to go see it, though, one more time on the big screen. So I go, sure enough, this sweeping saga, drama of the Russian Revolution, right? Dr. Zhivago, the whole story unfolds. And I'm swept along by it all. But up until that particular time, I had always missed the significance of the end of the movie. But this time I got it. The other times I'd missed it. Comrade General says, Tanya, how did you come to be lost? And she said, I was just lost. He said, no, how did you come to be lost? And she didn't want to say. She said, well, my father and I were running through the city. It was on fire. The revolution had come. And I was lost. And Comrade General said, no, Tanya, how did you come to be lost? And she finally said, while we were running, my father let go of my hand, and I was lost. That's what she didn't want to say. He let go. Comrade General says, Tanya, that's what I've been trying to tell you. I'm positive Komarovsky was not your real father. This man, Dr. Zhivago, that I knew well, I'm positive he was your father. I've been looking for you. I think I found you. This man, Dr. Zhivago, this was your real father. And he said, Tanya, let me tell you something. If this man, your real father, had been there, I promise you, he would never have let go of your hand. And I got it. I got it that time. Wow. The other times I'd missed it, right? I'm eating popcorn, waiting for the movie to finish, I guess. I don't know. The other times. So that's what I'm asking you to do. I'm asking you to get it. And I'm asking you to let it affect you. Let it do things to you. It builds your emotional bank. It builds your emotional bank. Number 3 is reflect. Learn to reflect. Reflecting is an extra way of getting more value from what you know and what you've been through. Reflecting is going back over. Let me give you some good times to reflect. 1, at the end of the day. Take just a few minutes at the end of the day and go back over the day. Find a place, right? If you can, get alone. Just go back and think through the day. Where have you been, and what did you see, and what did you hear, and what did you feel? If you'll just relive it, go back through it, I'm telling you, it will add multiplied value to you. The day you've just been through will be more valuable for your future if you just go back through it. Take a few hours at the end of the week. Hours at the end of the week, right? Minutes at the end of the day, hours at the end of the week, half a day at the end of the month, a weekend at the end of the year. Those are called times to reflect. Now, why go back over? Why run the tapes again? Let me tell you why. To make the past more valuable. It's like color enhancers. Right? The cameras take pictures of Jupiter, right, on its flyby. But let me tell you what they do with those pictures, right? The computer has learned to enhance them with color so they become vivid and unique. And our eyes get big, and we take a look and we say, wow, with the enhancers. And that's what will happen to your life. If you'll take the time to review what's going on, review the decisions you're making, review the people you're with, review the action you're taking, the decisions you're making, review all that stuff, go back through the feelings, go back through what's happening. I'm telling you, the color enhancers of your own mind will make your own life more valuable. Now, why try to make your life valuable? Simple answer, to invest it in the future. We call that bright. We call that skillful. To make more out of your past, to have more value to invest in the future. That's a different attitude than just trying to get through one more day, trying to get through one more week. Is to gather up your past and invest it in the future. When my father was about to turn 76, I said, dear father of mine, can you imagine how exciting it's going to be to take the last 75 years of your life and invest them in your 76th? That's an extraordinary thing to learn, how to take more of you and invest it in the next conversation, invest it in the next decision, invest it in the next activity. Okay. Now here's number 4, fourth ability. Develop the ability to act, the ability to take action on your feelings and your knowledge. Action, disciplined action, is what gives birth to ideas, enterprise, value. Without activity, ideas and dreams are stillborn. They have no life. Disciplined activity is the most demanding of arts to take you where you want to go. Now, sometimes it doesn't take much of a change of activity. Let me show you this little illustration. Let's say here's where you are. Just put a little dot on your paper and say, here's where you are. In 10 years, you can be here, or in 10 years, you can be here. And in 10 years, there's a lot of difference between here and here. But right now, there isn't much difference in daily disciplines. Daily, weekly disciplines are those small changes of intelligent activity that take you now in a better direction. We use a good question that says, 10 years from now, you will surely arrive. The question is, where? Right? Good question. Now, here's the comment. Now's the time to fix it. Now's the time to fix the next 10 years. Fix a better course. Now, to unsophisticated people, what they do during the day doesn't seem to matter. But to sophisticated people, it makes all the difference in the world. The books you read, the actions you take, the disciplines you engage in on a daily basis, those are the activities that are taking you somewhere. And all of us need to take a look at where our daily activities are taking us. Okay. That's number 3. Disciplined activity. Activity of learning, activity of mind. Okay. Health disciplines, wealth disciplines. Culture disciplines. Right. All values come from disciplines. Ideas put into disciplined activity create value. Now here's number 5. The 5th ability. In our personal development quest, developing skills that create success in the marketplace. Number 5 is develop the ability to share. Sharing is a unique human capacity. Sharing is a phenomenon, especially in the human experience. It seems when we share, we are the bigger and the better for it. It looks like if you shared something and gave it away, you'd be less. But it's a paradox. This is a paradox. What you share creates for you more. That's why we call it a paradox. You're not diminished by sharing, you're increased. If you have a child and you love it dearly, if the second child comes along, must you now cut your love in half? And the answer is no. From some strange, mysterious source comes an increased capacity. From sharing with the first, capacity and awareness and uniqueness is increased. So that's what I would ask you to do. Become gifted in sharing. There's many ways to share. One is by language. The gift of language. One of the most important studies for you is the study of communication. How to affect other people with words. I've got some good steps to communication. One is have something good to say. Saying something it has to come from something. You can't speak what you don't know. Talking is like writing a check. And you want to make sure you've got a verbal check that'll cash when you get ready to talk. And here's the true power of communication, when what you say is only the tip of the iceberg of all you know. We call that power. I'm sure we've all been around some people who very quickly told us more than they knew. But this is called do your homework. Have something good to share. Have something good to say. Communication is part of sharing. Then learn to say it well. Part of the gift of language is saying it uniquely. John Kennedy said of Churchill during World War II, Winston Churchill had the unique ability to take the English language and send it into battle. And the words he composed and the speeches he gave and the language and the style gave such hope and uniqueness and structure to the free world that soon the enemy was defeated. But part of it was the structure of the language, the skill, the gift of saying things well is one of those incredible gifts, saying it well. Then learning to read your audience. When you talk, you just got to be interested enough to look and see how you're doing. I had to learn that. At first, I was so absorbed in what I was saying, I'm sure the audience could have left and I would have never known it. But I finally learned to look up and see what's going on here, over here, in the back. My largest audience has been 10,500 people. And that is a real stretch, right? What's going on? 3 balconies. I had people behind me. And I wasn't the only speaker that day. Art Linkletter, Paul Harvey, Dr. Norman Vincent Peale. But that was an experience for me, learning to read, to see, to study, the reflection of whoever you're communicating with. That's an art, that's a skill. And the last one is intensity. Words with strong feeling change the meaning. Words can have power if they're loaded with emotion and belief and courage, love, understanding, awareness, sympathy, concern, being touched by somebody. If you put more of that into what you say, it'll have a more incredible effect. Those kind of skills to share, to articulate, to give people a reading on what's going on in our heart, our mind, our soul, our spirit. Learn to share your emotions. And the last one is learn to share your knowledge. You can't believe how well you can help somebody just by recommending a book, recommend a poem, share a word, a phrase. You say, hey, I just read this. I think you'll get a lot out of it. Somebody reads it and comes back and say, hey, that had an impact on my life. I'm glad you shared that with me. That started me thinking. That started me looking, started me reaching, started me searching. And you can start getting compliments. I'm now lecturing to about 7,000 people a month, 6,000, 7,000. And I get now lots of letters and phone calls, people saying, what you said made a difference for me. And that's an incredible feeling. But you don't have to lecture to 7,000 to get that same feedback. All you have to do is recommend a book, share an idea. Somebody comes back and says, that book got me started. The things you told me that breakfast that morning, wow, I've been thinking about that. I'm making some changes. So you can have this incredible pleasure that comes from sharing ideas. Now, another unique thing about sharing is what you pour out creates capacity for more. So if you pour out what you know, if you pour out what you feel, if you let go in a sharing way, the good things that have come your way, it's part of the skill in the marketplace of developing success, wealth, and value. And I would wish that for you. In fact, all of the things we've talked about today, I would wish for you the benefit that comes from it all. But I know that it takes the discipline first. One last phrase. Promise is on the other side of price. For the promise, you must always pay the price. I'm sure we've all watched the television show Fame, where the teacher says, here's where you start to pay. If you want the glory of the stage, and not just the glory of the stage, but a glory of a unique family, if you want the glory and the recognition of a unique enterprise, if you want the glory of a job well done, you got to pay up front. And this is part of the pay. But once you get a taste of value, you don't mind paying the discipline. So I want to thank you today for letting me come by and have a chance to visit with you. And I wish for you all these good things that come from paying the price. The next time we get together, I'm sure we'll be able to trade some stories about the value we've gotten from sharing with each other today. Thank you for inviting me. See you next time.
In this enlightening journey, we're about to delve into the profound insights that echo through the teachings of the legendary Jim Rohn. The speech you're about to experience encapsulates his timeless wisdom, particularly focusing on a philosophy he passionately advocated and the transformative mantra of today or never. As we immerse ourselves in the essence of this speech, we'll unfold the layers of Jim Rohn's teachings, understanding how he invites us to infuse purpose, meaning, and unwavering resilience into the fabric of our daily lives. Prepare to absorb the timeless wisdom shared by Jim Rohn himself as he unravels the keys to living a life filled with intention, connection, and the enchantment embedded in every passing moment.
Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, welcome to a contemplation on a theme that resonates with the very essence of our existence. Today, as we delve into the intricacies of this thought-provoking concept, let us embark on a journey that explores the profound nature of time, the power of our choices, and the boundless potential that lies within each passing moment. In the tapestry of life, each day presents itself as a blank canvas, awaiting the strokes of our actions, decisions, and intentions. The clock, an impartial observer, continues its relentless march forward, indifferent to our pursuits, aspirations, and hesitations. It is within the realm of the present that our destinies are shaped, and today or never encapsulates the urgency to recognize and harness this fleeting yet powerful force. Consider the sunrise, a daily spectacle that graces us with the promise of a new beginning. Each dawn heralds the arrival of 24 hours, a precious gift of time that holds the potential for transformation and progress. It is a reminder that, regardless of our past experiences or setbacks, the sun rises on an opportunity-filled horizon, and it is up to us to seize the day. The heart of the matter lies in the choices we make within the confines of this unfolding day. Choices as intricate as a spider's web, intricately woven into the fabric of our lives, dictate the direction of our journey. Today or never encourages us to scrutinize these choices, to recognize the profound impact they wield on our personal development, relationships, and the pursuit of our aspirations. One might wonder, what is it about today sets it apart from tomorrow or yesterday? The answer lies in the immediacy, the tangible reality of the present moment. While tomorrow is a realm of uncertainty and yesterday a landscape of memories, today is where the real magic happens. It is the workshop of progress, the forge of dreams, and the stage upon which the drama of our lives unfolds. In the pursuit of a life well lived, it is crucial to understand the delicate dance between action and procrastination. The temptation to defer aspirations to an ambiguous tomorrow is a siren song that has lured many off. However, today or never resounds as a clarion call, urging us to break free from the shackles of inertia, to defy the gravity of complacency, and to take that first step towards our goals. Consider the concept of compound interest, not just in the realm of finance, but as a metaphor for life's endeavors. The small, consistent actions we take today, when compounded over time, yield remarkable results. It is the daily commitment to improvement, the persistent pursuit of knowledge, and the unwavering dedication to personal and professional growth that transforms ordinary todays into extraordinary tomorrows. Relationships, the threads that weave the intricate tapestry of our lives, are deeply influenced by the choices we make today. Whether in the context of family, friendships, or romantic entanglements, the quality of our connections is a reflection of the investments we make in the present. Today or never prompts us to evaluate the time and energy we allocate to those we hold dear, recognizing that the bonds we nurture today blossom into the sturdy pillars of a fulfilling life. Now let us consider the professional sphere, where careers are built, ambitions are realized, and contributions to the world are made. The workplace, a crucible of challenges and opportunities, is where the concept of today or never takes on heightened significance. The decisions we make in the pursuit of our professional goals, the dedication we bring to our tasks, and the collaborations we foster all contribute to the legacy we leave behind. In the realm of personal development, the commitment to learning, growing, and evolving is a testament to the understanding that today's investments shape the contours of our future selves. It is a journey of self-discovery, resilience, and the continual pursuit of excellence. Today or never beckons us to embrace discomfort, to step outside our comfort zones, and to embark on the path of continuous improvement. As we navigate the complexities of modern life, it is inevitable that challenges and setbacks will cross our paths. However, the mindset we adopt in the face of adversity is a testament to our resilience and determination. Today or never invites us to view challenges not as insurmountable obstacles, but as opportunities for growth, as stepping stones toward a more robust and resilient version of ourselves. In essence, the philosophy encapsulated in today or never is a holistic approach to living. It is a call to action that resonates across the dimensions of our existence, urging us to be intentional, purposeful, and mindful of the choices we make. The canvas of today awaits the strokes of our endeavors, and each decision, no matter how seemingly insignificant, contributes to the masterpiece of our lives. In the pursuit of a life guided by the principle of today or never, let us further explore the intricacies of this philosophy and how it extends into various aspects of our daily existence. One of the fundamental elements of seizing the day lies in the cultivation of a proactive mindset. The proactive individual recognizes the agency they possess in shaping their circumstances. Instead of being a passive observer of life, they become active participants, architects of their destiny. By taking initiative and responsibility for their choices, they navigate the ebb and flow of existence with a sense of purpose and direction. Consider the realm of personal relationships, where the currency of connection is time and genuine engagement. Today or never encourages us to be fully present in our interactions, to invest our time and attention in fostering meaningful connections. In a world often characterized by the hustle and bustle, the ability to be present, to listen, and to empathize distinguishes those who savor the richness of human connection from those who merely skim its surface. Moreover, the philosophy of today or never prompts us to examine our habits and routines. Are the actions we repeat day after day contributing to our well-being and long-term goals? The small, seemingly insignificant choices we make in our daily routines have a cumulative effect on the quality of our lives. By bringing mindfulness to our habits, we can ensure that each day becomes a building block for a future steeped in purpose and fulfillment. In the professional sphere, where ambition meets execution, the concept of today or never takes on a pragmatic significance. The pursuit of career goals requires a strategic approach to time management, goal setting, and continuous improvement. Each workday becomes an opportunity to hone skills, make strategic decisions, and contribute meaningfully to the collective progress of the organization. The importance of setting and pursuing goals aligns seamlessly with the philosophy at hand. Goals provide a roadmap, a direction for our efforts, and imbue our actions with purpose. Today or never underscores the significance of setting realistic yet ambitious goals and breaking them down into manageable steps. By doing so, we transform our aspirations into actionable plans that can be implemented with focus and determination. In the landscape of personal development, the commitment to lifelong learning becomes a cornerstone of growth. Today or never prompts us to view each day as an opportunity to acquire new knowledge, develop skills, and broaden our perspectives. The world is in a constant state of evolution, and by embracing a mindset of continuous learning, we position ourselves to adapt and thrive in an ever-changing environment. Moreover, the philosophy of today or never serves as a guiding light in our quest to find meaning in the seemingly mundane. It encourages us to cultivate a heightened awareness of the beauty that resides in the ordinary moments of life. The warmth of a sunrise, painting the sky with hues of gold and pink, serves as a daily reminder that beauty is woven into the fabric of our existence. Today or never invites us to greet each dawn with a sense of gratitude, acknowledging the gift of a new day and the potential it holds. The laughter of loved ones, echoing through the corridors of our hearts, is a symphony of connection and joy. In the hustle and bustle of our daily lives, it's easy to overlook the profound impact of these simple shared moments. Yet the philosophy at hand encourages us to pause, to revel in the warmth of those connections, and to appreciate the richness they bring to our lives. For it is within these shared smiles and laughter that the true essence of a fulfilling life can be found. Additionally, the satisfaction derived from a well-executed task, no matter how small, is a testament to the power of accomplishment. Today or never underscores the significance of recognizing and celebrating these victories, irrespective of their scale. The completion of tasks, whether they pertain to our professional endeavors or personal aspirations, contributes to a sense of purpose and fulfillment. By acknowledging these achievements, we infuse our days with a positive momentum that propels us forward on our journey. Consider the concept of mindfulness, a practice that aligns seamlessly with the philosophy of today or never. Mindfulness involves being fully present in the current moment without judgment or distraction. It is a deliberate and conscious engagement with our thoughts, feelings, and surroundings. Today or never prompts us to integrate mindfulness into our daily lives, to appreciate the details that often escape our attention, and to savor the richness of each passing moment. In the broader context of time, the philosophy serves as a gentle reminder of the impermanence of our existence. The days unfold with a rhythm that cannot be halted or rewound. Today or never invites us to confront the transient nature of time and to approach life with a sense of urgency. This urgency is not born out of fear, but out of a profound appreciation for the opportunities that each day brings. A recognition that the present moment is a canvas waiting to be adorned with the brushstrokes of our conscious living. As we navigate the tapestry of life, woven from the threads of our experiences, relationships, and endeavors, let us carry the essence of today or never into every facet of our existence. Whether we find ourselves in the pursuit of professional goals, the cultivation of meaningful connections, or the exploration of personal passions, this philosophy serves as a compass guiding us toward a life well lived. Let's embark on a more extensive exploration of the profound philosophy encapsulated in today or never, delving into the intricacies of its influence on various facets of our lives. Embracing the ordinary with extraordinary insights. In the vast expanse of our existence, envision waking up to the dawn not merely as a routine, but as an opening scene in the grand narrative of your life. Today or never transforms the mundane into the extraordinary, infusing each moment with the potential for magic and wonder. Picture the first rays of sunlight as a reminder of the beauty inherent in the everyday, an invitation to savor each sunrise as a unique experience. With this mantra, the ordinary becomes a canvas waiting for the brushstrokes of your awareness, turning routine into an opportunity for profound self-discovery. Consider the simplicity of your morning routine as a ritual of self-care, a series of intentional acts that set the tone for the day ahead. From the comforting warmth of your first cup of coffee to the invigorating stretches that awaken your body, each action becomes a conscious engagement with the present. Today or never encourages you to find significance in these seemingly small moments, transforming them into a mosaic of self-love, mindfulness, and a celebration of the richness embedded in the ordinary. Professional pursuits. Orchestrating your career symphony, transitioning to the realm of work, visualize your professional endeavors as the composition of a career symphony. Within the confines of your workplace, Each task takes on the role of a musical note, and every project becomes a movement in this grand orchestration. Today or never emerges as the conductor's baton, guiding you to infuse creativity into your daily tasks and seize opportunities for growth. In this metaphorical symphony, challenges at work are not hurdles, but rather crescendos, contributing to the depth and character of your professional journey. Today or never encourages you to view your job not solely as a means to pay the bills, but as an integral part of the grand adventure you are living. Each keystroke, meeting, or decision becomes an intentional note, shaping your career story with purpose and resonance. Relationships, weaving an intricate tapestry of connection. Shifting the focus to relationships, let the magic of today or never weave intricate bonds of connection with those around you. Family and friends transcend their roles as mere characters. They become integral parts of your ongoing life narrative. This philosophy invites you to appreciate the depth within shared laughter, the significance of heartfelt conversations, and the enduring strength found in genuine connections. As you engage with your loved ones, today or never serves as the backdrop to your interactions. Ordinary moments like a shared meal or a phone call become scenes filled with authenticity and love. The philosophy encourages you to be fully present, to appreciate the ephemeral nature of time, and to recognize that the simple act of spending time with those you care about contributes to the richness of your life story. Personal passions, chapters of self-discovery. Venturing into the realm of personal passions, envisage your hobbies and interests as chapters in an odyssey of self-expression. Whether it's painting, writing, or any creative pursuit, today or never becomes the ink with which you script the narrative of your personal journey. This philosophy prompts you to explore these passions with a sense of urgency, recognizing that each stroke of creativity adds a unique hue to the canvas of your life. Consider your creative pursuits not merely as pastimes, but as portals to self-discovery. The act of creation becomes a dialogue with your inner self, a means of expressing your thoughts, emotions, and unique perspective on the world. In the realm of personal passions, today or never is the muse that inspires you to seize the moment, to embark on creative adventures, and to revel in the joy of self-expression. Navigating setbacks, a hero's resilient journey. Every compelling story includes moments of adversity, and in the narrative of today or never, setbacks are not roadblocks, but rather chapters of heroic resilience. Challenges are embraced as integral components of the storyline, each failure becoming a stepping stone toward growth and self-discovery. The philosophy empowers you to face difficulties with courage, recognizing that every stumble is an opportunity to rise stronger and more resilient. As you confront setbacks, today or never becomes the rallying cry that propels you forward. Instead of viewing challenges as insurmountable obstacles, you see them as twists in the plot, each one contributing to the development of your character. Adversity becomes the crucible in which your resilience is forged, and setbacks transform into moments of profound transformation in the ongoing narrative of your life. Beyond the self, acts of kindness as plot twists extend the narrative beyond the confines of personal experience and let today or never manifest in acts of kindness and compassion. Each small act becomes a plot twist in the collective narrative of humanity, contributing to the broader story of shared kindness and understanding. The philosophy encourages you to be not only the protagonist of your own story, but also a supporting character in the stories of others. Consider the impact of a kind word, a helping hand, or a gesture of compassion. In the larger narrative of human experience, these acts are not insignificant. They are the plot twists that shape the collective consciousness. Today or never inspires a sense of responsibility toward the world beyond the self, urging you to contribute positively to the ongoing story of human connection and empathy. The symphony of life, conducting your own melody. In the grand symphony of life, let today or never be your conducting baton, guiding your movements through the intricate compositions of each day. The moments of joy, the challenges, the connections, and the acts of kindness are the notes and rhythms that form the melody of your existence. The philosophy prompts you to conduct your life with intention, to infuse each day with purpose, and to recognize that every moment is an opportunity to create a harmonious composition. As you dance through the scenes of your existence, the interconnected nature of stories becomes evident. Your life is not lived in isolation, but as part of a larger tapestry woven with the stories of countless others. The choices you make, guided by today or never, echo not only in your individual chapters, but also in the broader narrative of shared humanity.
So, the key is time is precious. Now let me give you Bill Bailey's description of time. Life is not just the passing of time. Life is a collection of experiences, their frequency and their intensity. Life is not just watching the clock tick away. Life is a collection of experiences, their intensity, their frequency. Whatever the span of your life turns out to be, here's what you want to fill it up with: experiences and the intensity of those experiences. But now let's talk about the management of time. When should you start the day? As soon as you have it finished. Plan the day the best you can, leaving plenty of room for improvising and surprises and all the stuff that happens during the course of the day. But if you've planned a good, productive day, now you start that day, you can't believe how much more valuable your time will be. Don't start the day until you have it finished. Now here's the next one. Don't start the week until you've had it finished. Now to lay out a week is a pretty good challenge. Next, don't start the month until you have it finished. The places to go and the people to see and the productivity and the sales and the customers and the development and all the rest of what you want to accomplish during the course of 30 days. Don't start the month till it's finished. And then here's the big one. This is really challenging. Don't start the year until you have it finished. To the best of your ability. It can't be finished like minute by minute. But in terms of the sweep of what you want to accomplish, make sure that that's set and ready to go by the time January 1st rolls around. Now, jot this down. Approaches to the management of time. Here's the first one. Ignore the subject. I mean, that's good advice. Don't let anything overly bug you. Because remember now, you don't have to do anything. Someone says, well, I got to get a handle on my time. The answer is no, you don't. If you want to let it all go, you can let it all go. I mean, this is good advice. Somebody says, you ought, you ought, you ought. Jot this down. Ignore all the you oughts or you should. Only if they're giving general information. We should. It's better to say if you're teaching, we should. Not you should, we should. Then you let me listen in without it being too confrontational. If everyone did this, see, that'd be great. And then you give a person a chance to choose to do it or not to do it. But when you start the you ought, now see if I don't, now see we got some tension and maybe some problems. So you oughts seem to always create problems. When you're talking to your kids, you say, no, if kids would do this, not always saying if you did this, life would be better. But if kids did this, life would be better. It's like making a little talk and letting them listen in. And then it's a little less confrontational. It gives us a choice. In one of my seminars, here's what I teach. All life form strives to the max of its potential except human beings. How tall will a tree grow? As tall as it possibly can. You never heard of a tree growing half as high as it could. No, trees don't grow half. A tree drives its roots as deep as it can, reaches as high as it can, produces every leaf it can, every fruit it possibly can. To the max. Every life form strives to the max, except human beings. Now, why not human beings? Jot this down. You've been given the dignity of choice. You're not a robot. You don't have to repeat this year the same as last year. You can tear up last year's plan, develop a new plan. So, the dignity of being a human being. Now, here's the choice on being a human being. To be part of all we were meant to be, or to be all. To strive for all, or half, or part, or some. The choice is up to you. To develop 1 skill or 10 skills. Someone says, well, I'd be happy with just 1 more language. Well, some say, hey, I'm going to learn 6 or 7. And this is all a matter of choice. And when someone says, no, you ought to learn 4, you've got to resist all that. Because this is personal dignity. And you don't want to destroy someone's dignity by doing all the oughts, and then they feel reluctant to do it. Now we've got problems. So if you want to, just ignore this subject on time management. Now here's the next one. Step down to something easier. The guy's in sales, and he says, oh, I want to own the company. Finally owns the company. Now he's got no time to play golf. He said, when I was in sales, I was making big money playing golf 3 days a week. Heck with this owning something. Heck with managing. My life was never my own after I started to manage. I'm going back to sales. See, this is the key. If you're getting too pressed, you might consider stepping down to something with a little easier time pressure. Next key to time management. And that's work longer and harder. But see, there's a limit to that. I almost lost my health the first year. I went so crazy about personal development and achievement. I just went bonkers. You know, I told you I was skinny. By the end of that first year, I was a walking shadow. And then it suddenly occurred to me, what if I got rich and too ill to spend it? I mean, that was a shocker. So I started, developing a little more reasonable. Because I said, if 12 hours won't do it, I'll work 14. If that won't do it, I'll work 18. I mean, how many hours it takes. And sure enough, it cost me too much. So see, working longer and harder for some might be appropriate. If you're just sitting around not doing that much, this might be good, work longer and harder. But you can only work so hard. Here's the key, not to work harder, but smarter. When you've worked as hard as you can, doing the best you can in terms of physical output in the time, reasonable time. Now here's the ultimate in the management of time, and that is you simply become more skillful. When I first got into sales, I was around people that could get, 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10. And when I first started, I could only get 1 out of 10. But here's what I did. I worked around the clock, so that I would make up in numbers what I lacked in skill. That's good in sales. You got to jot that down. When you're new, you make up in numbers what you lack in skill. Now, when you become more skillful, the numbers can go down because now your persuasive ability and all of that is now so high that you don't need to put as many numbers out. But at first, if you want to compete or if you want to really get good, you've got to put in the numbers. But if you get more from yourself, develop more of yourself, now the time management becomes an easier task. Now here's the next thing. Either you run the project or it runs you. I've found out when you start something, at first you're in charge. All of a sudden, a year later, it's in charge. Some of the companies I started, I'm telling you, I'm in control. A couple of years later, I'm out of control. At first, I've got it on the run. 2 years later, it's got me on the run. Haven't got enough time. I'm dizzy with trying to get it all done. So here's part of the key, and that's to get in charge. Say, I'm going to take charge of my health. Take charge of your time. Take charge of your resources, which we're going to talk about next. You're the one that's responsible for it. It's not a requirement of society that you not have a heart attack and take care of your family. That's not a requirement of society, but you must make it a requirement of yourself. Society doesn't require that you build a financial wall around your family nothing can get through. That's not a requirement of society. It's a requirement you impose on yourself to build a financial wall around your family nothing can get through. So impose on yourself this self-development of being in charge, taking charge of your life and your health and your future and your responsibilities and all the rest. Next, reasonable time is enough time to achieve all of your goals. Just jot that down. Reasonable time is enough time. I had to learn that. Reasonable time is enough time. Here's why. It's not the hours you put in, it's what you put in the hours. If you start depositing greater ideas into the hours you've got later than now, I'm telling you later, you can't believe the productivity that will flow. The ideas you can't think of now, a year from now, they'll start to flow. And when you deposit those ideas in the hours you've got, Productivity multiplies by 2, 3, 5, 10. Next, time management essential. We've already covered the first one, a written set of goals. And then do priorities on your goals. What's important this week? What's important this month? Here's the next one. Often review. Just go over your goals to make sure that your list is working for you. It's got you inspired. It's got you turned on. Somebody says, how come you're up so early? Say, if you were headed where I'm headed, you'd be up early too. If you were going to meet who I'm going to meet, you'd be up early. If it was going to stack up for you like it's stacking up for me, you'd be getting up early. Here's some more time management essentials. Learn to study what we call majors and minors. You pick up the phone. Here's what you must say when you pick up the phone. Is this a major conversation or a minor conversation? If it's minor, a few pleasantries and you're done. If it's major, maybe you've got to make a few notes. So here's the next one. Important conversations, make an agenda before you make the call. Just jot down a little agenda. It's so easy now to just talk out of your head. Did you ever hear a conversation end like this? Let's see, there was something else. See, you don't look that swift. I can't think of it right now. I'll call you back. See, you look a little incompetent. Let's see, there was something. It escapes me right now. Really? So have you got this now? Make an agenda before you make a call if it's an important call. Now later that saves you all kinds of stuff. So what's major, what's minor? Now here's the key on this. Don't major in minor things. If you take up major time to do minor things, I'm telling you, you'll be behind the curve constantly. Here's what we learn in sales training. What's major time and what's minor time? And if you're in sales and you took a look at a week, you'd say, my gosh, I'm spending 90% of my time on the minor stuff and so little time on the major stuff in the presence of. How many hours in the presence of in my day? How many hours in the presence of during my sales week? Because the time that really counts is in the presence of majors and minors. Here's another key time management essential. Don't mistake movement for achievement. It's easy to get faked out by being busy. Guy comes home at night all exhausted, falls in the chair and says, oh, I've been going. Here's the big question. Doing what? It's not the going. Some people are going, and they're doing figure eights. Progress is small. So don't mistake movement for achievement. Now here's a big one, concentration. I had to learn this. All those years ago, I'm in the shower trying to compose a letter. Found it turns out to be a strange letter. So here's what I learned to do. Save the work till you get to the office. Save the work till you get to the work. Don't try to get to the office on the way to work. On the way to work, enjoy the way. In the shower, enjoy the shower. Then go to work when you get to work. I found this to be helpful. Concentration. Here's another big one. Learn to say no. I'm telling you, in such a social society we have now, it's so easy to try to be a nice person saying yes to everything. Find yourself overloaded. Now you got to call and make well, gosh, all the time it takes to back out of something that you said yes to too quickly. Here's what might be better. I don't think so, but if that changes, I'll call you. Little things you can use not to overcommit yourself. My friend Ron Reynolds says, don't let your mouth overload your back. It's a good one. Now, here's a big one on time management. When you work. When you play. Don't mix the two. Don't work at play. I used to take my family to the beach, and I would bring my briefcase. I learned not to do that. Or at the beach, I'm saying I should be at the office. Now my family's upset because I'm at the beach, and I'm thinking office. Now, when I'm at the office, I'm thinking what? I got to get my family to the beach. So things are not going too well at the office because I'm thinking beach, and things are not going too well at the beach because I'm thinking office. Here's what I learned to do. At the beach, be at the beach. At the office, be at the office. When you work. When you play. Don't mix the two. Don't work at play. Now, here's one of the most important ones. Don't play at work. Work is too serious. But I'm telling you, you got to be serious about work because you're parting with a piece of your life for the work you do. Your work costs you a piece of your life. Here's what it's called. Serious business. Not grim, not unhappy, but serious. Here's another key phrase. All work is good. You may not like your job, but if it's the stepping stones to get you to where you want to go, you got to appreciate your job. You don't have to have a passion for your job.
Here's the ultimate passion, a passion for incredible success in every department of my life. That's the passion. But don't look down on some menial job you have to do to finally get you to where you want to go. No job is menial. No job is not, no, every job is noble. Training life for pay, making a contribution to society. Next, analyze how you are. And if you have some weaknesses, if you can't, doesn't seem like you can change, here's the key, get it covered. I used to keep promising myself I'd keep the books, keep the books, keep the books. Finally, I gave that up. And back then, it only took me an extra $50, $60 a month for some accountant to keep the books. I said, no, I'm going to save the $50. You can't believe what I started losing in productivity because I tried to save the $50. So the key is, a lot of the time you can stay like you are, but just make sure you get it covered. Next, beware of the telephone and all other systems of communication, especially the telephone at home and systems of communication at home. And here's one of the best lines I've got for you for the weekend. Let all communication systems serve you, but don't let them intrude. Here's the next one. Read all the books. You know, I've only got a few notes here on time management. But if you've got some particular challenges, you run a big organization, a big corporation, you've got some challenges, there's plenty of books. Now, here's what's next. Just be more alert to the things that might be stealing your time. Here's why. Time is like capital. You can't let someone steal your seed corn. You can't let someone steal your capital. And you can't let someone steal your time. You must designate your time. And some of the time that you designate, you must not let anyone steal. Casual time, you might let someone intrude and steal a little bit and take a little bit, but not serious time. Next, one of the great time management savers is to learn to ask questions up front. Sometimes you talk to somebody for an hour, and then you ask questions and find out if you would have asked those questions up front, you could have saved yourself an hour. Asking questions up front helps you to get to the problem now. But if you just launch into some discourse, you might waste 30 minutes, waste an hour, when here's what you should have been talking about. After you finished an hour, you say, John, what's really the problem? He said, well, it's something personal. See, that's what you should have been talking about this whole hour. Now, here's the last one, thinking on paper, and that's to keep a journal. One of the things I'm known for around the world, have been now for 39, 40 years, is keeping a journal. Now, my journal is not it's not necessarily it's not like a diary. It might be part diary. You know, I'm flying over Ireland and I write down a few little things that impress me. Today I met this person. Wow, what an extraordinary event. Today I conducted this seminar in Rome. 1,000 people stood up and sang for me. I've got a little bit of a diary in there. But here's what primarily your journal is for. Collecting good ideas. A journal is to collect good ideas on your health, good ideas for your business, good ideas for your future, good ideas for time management. Because I used to take notes on pieces of paper and torn off corners and backs of old envelopes and restaurant placemats. And I threw all this stuff in a drawer. It did not serve me well. I finally learned to get a bound copy, right? And just keep a journal, right? If I was here, I had my journal, I'd be taking notes, right? These 2 days in my journal. Now, if you're caught without your journal, you just take the notes when you get back home, put those notes in your journal, throw the paper away. Because we don't usually go through paper to review. But see, my journals now make up a significant part of my own library. Here's what's next to leave behind, and that's your library. The books that changed your life, the books that changed your health, the books that rescued you from oblivion. The books that you passed on to other people, they were so exciting for you. The books that made you financially independent. The books that developed your leadership. The books that gave you wisdom to ponder when things were tough. The books that got you through the winter. The books that helped you to plant in the spring and harvest in the fall. What a treasure to leave behind. If you do that, here's what's for sure. Your books will be more valuable than your furniture. The first 6 years of my economic life, I wound up broke. Second 6 years, I wound up rich.
Someone says, don't you have to do the second 6 years like you did the first 6 years? And jot this down. No. No, you don't have to live the second 6 years like the first 6. You can use all the information and all the advice and repairing all of your mistakes and adopting a new and refined philosophy so that the next 6 years can be totally different than the last 6. No other life form can do this. See, if you were a tree, you'd be stuck. As a tree, if you used up all the nourishment that was around you and you couldn't change location, see, you would die. But that's not true. Human beings can change location, go north, south, east, west, live here for a while, live somewhere else for a while. So that's a note to make. You can greatly alter the course of your life. Now here's the next note to make. 5 years from now, you will arrive. The question is where? If you keep up your present disciplines and keep up the present pace that you're on, where will you be in 5 years? Boy, it's easy to say, hey, I haven't really thought about that. So now make this note. In 5 years, here's the probability. You will either arrive at a well-designed destination or an undesigned destination. And I promise you, 5 years from now, you really don't want to arrive at an undesigned destination. Because you may very well wind up wearing what you don't want to wear, driving what you don't want to drive, living where you don't want to live, maybe doing what you don't want to do. Simply because you didn't design a better destination. Now, sometimes after we've lived a few years, now to repair our mistakes and get back on track seems like a tough job. If you start early, the fortune belongs to you. If you start early. All fortunes that are available to humans, if you start early, the promise looms large and the odds are heavy in your favor. Now, yes, it's possible to do some radical things starting late and still arrive with some good treasures and some good things. But when you haven't got that much time left, now sometimes the decision has to be so drastic people are not willing to make it and they're too tired and too weary and too ill. And say, look, I don't have much time left. It's not going to happen for me anyway. It's easy to take that attitude. But everyone here, we've got the time over the next 10 years. We've got the time the next 20 years. We've got the time the next 30 years to make some repair now in our errors of the past and set up some new disciplines. And I'm telling you, that's going to change everything. So, 5 years from now, I wish for you to arrive at a well-designed place. A place of productivity, a place that'll make you feel good about yourself, a place that'll give you honor and respect, a place that'll give you influence to touch other people 5 years from now that you couldn't do today. Where will you be in 5 years? Key phrase, we go the direction we face. If you start designing something at the end of this direction, sure enough, you will start going the direction you face. And we face the direction we design. Direction determines destination. Destination is not determined by hope. It's not determined by wish. Destination is determined by direction. You cannot change destination overnight. But here's what you can change today, and overnight, you can change direction. And it is so fascinating what a little small change of direction will do. A few decisions in discipline, a few decisions in learning, a few decisions in change of behavior, change of habit, a few decisions in setting goals that you've sort of let drift before. Like I did at age 25, didn't have a list. I immediately started to change that. And I immediately started to change my direction so that very quickly I started heading this direction. In less than 7 years, I was a millionaire. My father taught me way back, son, always do more than what you get paid for. Now, some individuals might argue with that. They'd say, no, you're going to mess up the whole program. I know they're wrong. In my own self-interest, I did what my father taught me, to always do more than I got paid for. Why? To make an investment in my future. Do more than you get paid for to make an investment in your future, and it's paid off for me. If you're wanting that big promotion, are you going to go up to your boss and say, just give it to me? I'll work harder if you just give me that promotion. No, it doesn't work that way. You've got to do more in your current position so that you get noticed, so you stand out from everybody else. So the boss says, hey, we've got this position opening up and I think we should give it to Nancy. She does so much more than we expect. Just imagine what she'll do if we give her this promotion. You've got to do more than you're paid for. You've got to. It's an investment in your future. It's one thing to make a sale. I'm telling you, if you make a sale, you'll make a living. All of us have found ways to make a living. What got interesting for me early on was to figure out ways to make a fortune. You'd say, well, Mr. Rohn, how would I deserve to make a fortune? It's easy. Render fortunes of service. People will do things you cannot believe for people who give them good service. Here's one of the greatest gifts you can give anybody, the gift of attention. In return, they will do extraordinary things for your career, take you by the hand, and lead you to more people than you could meet by yourself. Always do more than you get paid for. Life responds to deserve, not need. Life was not designed to give us what we need. Life was designed to give us what we deserve. Once you understand that little life principle in your own self-interest, I'm telling you, it's life-changing. The ancient law does not go like this. If you need, you will reap. No, it doesn't work that way. A lot of people out there are hoping it works that way, but no, it doesn't. The ancient law goes like this. If you plant, you will reap. If you sow, you will reap. Somebody says, well, I really need to reap. Well, then you really need to plant in your own self-interest. Your own self-interest needs to be educated in how to plant, how to do it so everybody wins. Because life doesn't respond to need. You can't go to the soil and say, I need a crop. The soil just smiles at you. And here's what the soil says. Don't bring me your need, bring me some seed. Bring me some effort. Bring me some discipline. Bring me some interest. Bring me some service. Bring me these things and I'll return to you multiplied by 2 times, 5 times, 10 times. You can't come with need. You've got to come with seed. You've got to come with willingness. You've got to come with skills. You've got to be willing to learn, willing to change, willing to grow, willing to put yourself out, willing to stand up to the bad weather, willing to pull out the weeds, willing to nurture. That's the only way you get a return. Once you understand these principles, self-interest now truly becomes an exciting challenge, making sure everybody wins. Enlightened self-interest makes sure that everybody wins. Let me give you a good philosophical phrase. All values must be won by contest. All values must be won by contest. And after they've been won, they must be defended. You say, wow, you've put a pretty heavy task on us. That's what life is all about, a pretty heavy challenge. We don't give large trophies for small effort. If you want to win high health, if you want to win high wealth, if you want to extend a long reach in touching people's lives, you got to engage in some of these extra powerful disciplines. And one is to secure the territory by vigor, and the other is to defend it with equal challenge. Attack. Procrastination. Here's another good one, blame. I engaged in this the big share of my life until I met Mr. Show. I used to blame my negative relatives. I used to blame the government. I used to blame taxes. I used to blame prices. I said, it costs too much. Shoaff said, no, let's cover the real problem. You can't afford it.
I never looked at it like that before. Shoaff said, sir, you must intellectually understand, it's not it that's your problem. It's you that's your problem. It's not out there that's the problem. Out there is like it's been for 6,000 years. You can't cure that. But what you can cure is errors in judgment, errors in attitude, errors in activity, errors in judging results. I found that the errors were within. But see, he had to go after me on that point. Here's the next one. Excuses. Wow. We've got 1,000,000. I'm too short. I'm too tall. I'm too old. I'm too young. I don't have the money. I don't have the experience. On and on and on with the excuses. Learning to attack. Very important. Procrastination. That's a good one, front and center. We've got to attack procrastination because it's so insidious. It eats up such large chunks of your life and leaves you in a small corner. Putting it off. Delaying. Letting it slide. Now, I'm one of the best to attack procrastination because I confess to being one of the all-time great procrastinators. I've done a lot of things, but I've put a lot of things off. Procrastination. I am so good, I could teach it. But I also know the pain of procrastination. I also know the regret that comes from procrastination. I can also show you pieces of my life missing, never to be repaired, because I let it slide. Now see, if we all studied our own lives, and we're trying to help somebody with this insidious disease of procrastination and putting it off, front and center, we use ourselves as best example because you feel the strongest about your own experiences and your own emotions. Do you think you could help somebody with procrastination? Developing this skill of going back, rehearsing your own life and coming up with the essence of the emotion and the experience to try to illustrate to somebody how insidious it can become and how devastating it can leave your life and what'll be missing if you let it slide. That's what we call learning to attack the problem. Now, underline the word attack. It's very important to go after the insidious. If the future gets clear, the price gets easier. Because you got to remember, for every promise, there's a price to pay. Everybody's got to pay the price. Everybody's got to do the deal. Everybody's got to do the disciplines. Everybody has to pay. But here's what I've discovered. If the promise is clear and powerful, the price is easy to pay. The price is some classes. The price is a few books. The price is a few disciplines. The price is finding something that'll make your life better, make you grow, make you change, make you develop. So the first part of the key is to design the promise. Then, what is the price to pay? I'm telling you, the price will be easy. Anybody in my audience can pay. No matter where you are, where you come from. Color doesn't matter, religion doesn't matter, where you grew up doesn't matter, circumstances don't matter. I'm telling you, if you'll make the promise of the future clear for yourself, the things you want, the places you want to go, the things you want to have, the person you want to become, the skills you want, the homes you want, the future you want, the friends you want, all of the values of life that you could possibly want. If you'll make that clear, make those lists, and be serious about it, I promise you it's an easy price to pay. Anybody can pay it. And the best advice I can give you is, if I can do it, you can do it. Farm boy from Idaho, raised in obscurity, I changed my life, turned it upside down, turned it all around, found economics, found future, found promise, and if I can do it, you can do it. So, start setting your goals and see if you can't get a better excitement going for the things you want to accomplish for the future. One of the major reasons for setting goals is for what they make of you in achieving them. My teacher advised me when I first got started at age 25, he said, Jim, why don't you set a goal to become a millionaire? He said, it's got a nice ring to it, you know, enough zeros to impress your accountant. And he said, I'm here to help you. You're only 25 years old. You've been to 1 year of college. You've got a beautiful family, every reason to do it. Why don't you set a goal to become a millionaire? And he said, here's why. And I thought, he doesn't need to teach me why. Wouldn't it be nice to have $1 million? He said, no, then you'll miss it. He said, here's why. For what it will make of you to achieve it. I'm telling you, that statement changed my life. Set the kind of goals that will make something of you to achieve them. He said, now, once you become a millionaire, what's important is not the money. I thought, that's kind of strange teaching. He said, honest, it isn't important. He said, you could just give the money away. Now, I did better than that. I lost it all. By the time I was 31, I was a millionaire. By the time I was 33, I was broke. But when I lost all my money, guess what? I found out Mr. Schoaf was right. What was valuable was not the money. What was valuable was what I became to earn the money. The skills I had, the knowledge I had about the marketplace, the values that I had going for me. They were more valuable than the money. And here's an important statement to remember. It's not what you get that makes you valuable. It's what you become. So part of the key here is to set the kind of goals that will make something of you. Don't set them too low so that you don't have to grow and you don't have to read and you don't have to try and you don't have to stretch. Don't set them too low. And then don't sell out. Don't go for something that's going to cost you your virtue or cost you your values or sell out your principles. There's a good middle road here to follow. Goals that will inspire, goals that will help you grow, change, develop, and become better than you are. Okay. Now let's talk about financial independence. How to become rich by 40, 35 if you're extra bright, much sooner if you find an opportunity like I did. Let me show you how I did it. Financial independence. I like the phrase financial independence. Some people are a little bit concerned about using the word becoming rich or becoming wealthy, and I can understand that. I struggled a little bit with this. Is it okay to go for becoming rich, go for becoming wealthy? And maybe that's a bit too strong a word or strong a term. So here's what I've come up with that I think is comfortable for me, and that is how to become financially independent. I think it's every person's heritage here, especially in America, to become financially independent. Now, let me give you my definition of financial independence. Financial independence is the ability to live from the income of your own personal resources. Financial independence. Now it depends on how you want to live. If you need $2,000, $3,000 a month, if you need $4,000 or $5,000 a month, if you need $10,000 a month, some people may need, $100,000 a month. But whatever you would need to live, and you could earn that living from the income of your own personal resources, that's what I call financial freedom, financial independence. And let me show you how to acquire it. If you start at age 15, between ages 15 and 35 is 20 years. And in my personal opinion, based on my own studies and my own experience, 20 years, in my opinion, is enough time to become financially independent. If you're not, you don't live in the wrong country. Probably what's happened is you have the wrong plan. And it's easy to be a nice person with the wrong plan. I found that when I was 25 years old. I was broke at age 25, and I was a nice guy. You would have liked me. But I'm telling you, my plans up until then, especially my financial plan, left me broke. I totally changed it the next 6 years, and I became financially independent. So I know what I'm talking about. It is possible in a reasonable amount of time, 15 to 35, whatever, 20 years time, enough time. You can do it in a much shorter period of time, like I did if you want to. But this is a reasonable enough time. But here's number one. First of all, you got to have the right philosophy. Philosophy is our ability to gather knowledge and sort through it and decide what's valuable. To develop a philosophy about life, a philosophy about our health, a philosophy about our family relationships, a philosophy about economics. And if you develop the right philosophy, that's what helps to set this sail so that in 6 years it takes you where you want to go instead of winding up like I did that first 6 years of my economics, broke, no money, empty bank account. The right philosophy. Now let me give you a couple of philosophies to consider. Here's the first one. It's called the philosophy of the poor. And here it is. Poor people usually spend their money and invest what's left. That's the philosophy of the poor. Now here's the philosophy of the rich. Rich people invest their money and spend what's left. And here's the startling answer. It really doesn't matter what the amount is. What's most important is not the amount. What's really important is the philosophy. So I would ask you to adopt this philosophy of spending after you have invested. Invest first, then spend. And I've got a little formula that I'm going to share with you. Now, what should a child do with a dollar? I mean, there's a lot of debate going on, I'm sure, across the country on what a child should do with a dollar. Here's one opinion. It's only a child and it's only a dollar. What difference does it make? Well, in my opinion, it makes all the difference in the world. A person's economic future starts with a child with a dollar. Somebody says, oh, no, you're only young once. Let him spend it all. Well, when would you hope that would stop? Somebody says, well, wait till he's 50 and broke like me and then he'll learn. Well, no, we don't want to wait that long. If I would have known earlier than age 25, I would have changed. In high school, if they would have had classes called Wealth 1, Wealth 2, I'd have taken both classes. I would not have waited until age 25. So, the earlier the better. So, what should a child do with a dollar? Here's the simple premise to begin with. Don't spend it all. And if a child wants to spend the whole dollar, you got to say, hey, don't spend it all. Don't spend it all. They'll say, why not? It's my dollar. I earned it. You say, I know you earned it, but don't spend it all. They'll still say, why not? Say, let me show you why not. So you put them in your car, take them to the other side of town, and show them where people live that spend the whole dollar. Just drive them around. Kids learn best by visual. Just drive around and say, would you like to live here? Kid says, no. Would you like to live like these people live? Kid says, no, no. Then you can't spend the whole dollar. So, kids will get the message. So, take them to the other side of town, show them around, unless you already live there, and then just show them around. Anyway, don't spend the whole dollar. Now, let me give you my best view of what to do with a dollar. And I promise you, if you started at age 15, now if you're over 15, right, you've still got plenty of time. You still got 20 years. If you're 30, you still got 20 years. I mean, you still got plenty of time to start what I'm about to share with you. What to do with a dollar. Here's my first bit of advice. Never spend more than 70 cents. Never spend more than 70 cents. Now, you got to pick some number, and the number you pick is going to be determined by your philosophy. It's going to be determined by what you've been taught or your experience teaching yourself. When I first met my teacher, Mr. Schoaf, I was at about 110% of each dollar. I'm down at budget finance, hawking my furniture and my car one more time. And then I learned a whole better formula for financial independence. Number one, don't spend more than 70 cents. Now, kids say to me, well, okay, what do I do with the other 30 cents? And here's what I teach them. 10 cents for charity. Charity or church, or helping people that can't help themselves. 10 cents to support worthy projects. Projects that you feel good about. 10 cents out of every dollar. It's called being generous with part of what you've taken out of society. Now, in my opinion, nothing teaches us character better than generosity. No class, no teacher, no book teaches character better than generosity. And the best time to start is when the amounts are small. And I know if kids learn these lessons well, they'll give a dime out of a dollar, help people that can't help themselves, support worthy projects. Or if you belong to a church, they teach tithe, piece of. That's very important. Now, because when the amounts get larger, sometimes it's a little more difficult. Giving 100,000 out of a million, someone says, oh, if I had a million, I'd give 100,000. I'm not sure. That's a lot of money. So the time to start is when the amounts are small. 10 cents out of the dollar. Okay, next 10 cents I call active capital. Active capital means do something to make a profit. Active capital. Set aside a portion of your income Wages are okay, but I'm telling you, wages will make you a living. Profits will make you a fortune. So set aside part of your income as capital, called active capital. Any kind of project you can possibly think of, you can possibly come up with. I'm going to write a new book, I think, for kids. I think the title is going to be, Of Course Kids Should Pay Taxes. It's kind of an interesting title. In California, kids do pay taxes. When a child walks into 7-Eleven, buys something that costs $1, the proprietor says, give me 7 more pennies. And the child says, hey, what's these 7 pennies for? And the proprietor says, that's the taxes. Kid says, well, hey, I'm only 8 years old. Proprietor says, congratulations, you're my youngest taxpayer. Give me the money. So in California, where I live, kids do pay taxes. Big question is, should they? And my book will answer that question. Of course, kids should pay taxes. Nothing is for free. If you want to ride your bicycle on the sidewalk instead of in the mud, you got to pay the 7 pennies. Nothing is free, so we all have to pay. So, 10 cents out of your living, out of the money you earn, set aside for capital. Capital to try your best to show a profit. And in my book, it's going to be all kinds of ways kids can make money, right? 2 bicycles, one to ride and one to rent. I mean, you know, it doesn't take long to figure out some enterprise that'll start making a profit. Then you must jot this down if you're taking notes. Profits are better than wages. 1, you can't usually start wages until you're about 16, 15, 16, but you can make a profit long before you're eligible to start earning wages. And then there's no limit to profits, and they can double and triple and quadruple. You know, there's no limit. It's incredible how fast profits can grow. So profits are better than wages. Wages make you a living, profits make you a fortune. Now, the third 10 cents is vitally important. I call it passive capital. Capital you let somebody else use. A financial institution, stocks and bonds, mutual funds, whatever. Let someone else use it, you furnish the money, they use it to make a profit, but they pay you for the use of it, called interest. And here's one of the things that'll make you financially independent fairly quickly, and that's called compound interest. And this is how you get it. Letting someone else use a portion of your money, your substance. They show the profit, they pay you interest. And this passive capital, I'm telling you, over a sustained period of time, if you'll develop this little 10, 10, 10, and 70, especially starting at age 15, I'm telling you, by the time you're 35, you will be financially independent. You'll have the ability to live from the income of your own resources. And then one more point on passive capital. There's a Bible philosophy. I'm an amateur on the Bible. But there's a Bible philosophy that teaches the borrower is servant to the lender. And if you want to be in a powerful position as you grow older, finally when you become mature, maybe have your own business, things have worked out for you for the future, the position you always want to be in is the power position. And that's called the lender. The lender is the power position. So if kids learn early enough, and then you ask them what they'd like to be when they grow up, I'm telling you, once they understand, they'll say, well, one of the things I want to be is one of those lenders. That's the power position, not the spender. No, you'll be pitied the rest of your life if you just become a spender. You got to become a lender. And I think this is one formulas to follow. 10 cents out of every dollar. Let someone else use it. Be the lender, power position. Then try to show a profit. Can't we teach our children how to take $1, search the neighborhood, find a broken wagon, pay $1 for it, bring it home, you know, clean it up, sand it until it's clean, paint it red till it shines, straighten out the wheels till they're true, take it back to the neighborhood, sell it for $5? Anybody can do that. Now, does the child deserve $4 profit? And the answer is yes. Society now has a mended wagon. And that's what America's all about. Finding something, touching it, making it better, making a profit, taking part of your resources, helping people who can't help themselves. Let someone else use it to make a profit. Some projects require more capital than one person has. Exciting. And then let them pay you for the use of it. America's had this philosophy now all these years. Communism has taught all these years capital belongs in the hands of the state, not in the hands of the people. We've been teaching all these years capital belongs in the hands of the people, not in the hands of the state. And we turned out to be right.
Capital in the hands of the kids, capital in the hands of the people. Enterprises that make a profit, enterprises that grow. It's the hope of our future. So that little simple formula, I hope, will help you. Now, one more key on financial independence, and that is attitude. Attitude. Here's number one. I used to say, I hate to pay my bills. My teacher straightened me out on that. He said, let's see, Mr. Rohn, what you hate to do is pay $100 on an account and reduce your liabilities and increase your assets. I said, well, no, not if you look at it that way. He said, well, it all depends on how you look at it. So wouldn't you love to pay your bills, reduce your liabilities, increase your assets? You got to have that kind of attitude. Lives render more value to the marketplace, give you greater satisfaction, chance to belong on an international championship team, and all the stuff that can happen here. No. We got some more things to do, Jim Rohn. Postpone it for a while. We'll have some fun along the way, and we'll enjoy each other along the way, and we'll have some good times along the way. Last night was part of it, some good times along the way, but I'm telling you, they were right. It was too early for me to cash it in. It was too early. I needed this kind of incredible incentive to be a part of something so extraordinary, and I gladly said yes. And I'm going to do my part. I'm going to pick up the task here. The 90s is going to see a brand new Jim Rohn, willing to make the studies, willing to make the commitment, willing to do the learning, find better ways to choose the words, find better ways to reach inside, get heart and soul, mix it all together, and make an impact on people. When I come to your country, when I come to your city, when I come to your village, when I come to your community, I want to come with some new skills. I want to come with some new power. I want to come with the refinement of language and spirit and heart and soul and make a contribution, not just on this platform with the lights shining and the television cameras running. I want to do it because you deserve it. For the commitment that you're making out there in the marketplace, I want to back it up with the best skills I can possibly bring to help serve you in the marketplace and to help serve Herbalife. New commitment from me. Next, to make this your best year ever, have a piece of the 400 million. See what you can do. Touch the lives of as many people as you can possibly touch. Number one was get serious. Here's number two, get smart. That's what these journals are for. That's what pad and pencil's for. That's what taking notes is for. See if you can't increase your ability to comprehend ideas, information that can be life-transforming. Don't miss the opportunity to learn. Take a good key phrase home. Use it in your training. Don't be lazy in learning. Don't be casual in learning. Develop a whole new intensity for the 90s that you're not going to miss the information. You're not going to miss the stories. You're not going to miss the details. Get smart. Here's a couple of parts to it. Number one, your own personal experience. Right? If you've had a bad week, just sit down and ponder that for a while. Study it. See if you can't pick up some ideas from a poor week and then make a better week. Okay? Learn from your own experiences. One way to learn to do it right is do it wrong. I mean, that's one way to learn to do it right. Do it wrong. Now, the key is don't let it take too long. If you've done it wrong for a year, we suggest that's long enough. You don't need another year just to prove a point. No, 1 year's enough. Learn from your own experience, right? So the call didn't go well, all the stuff. Guess what they did when they finished that call? They made another call. What else could we do to make it better? How could we possibly improve? This is called the possibility for life change. Starts with education. Don't be lazy in learning. Don't be lazy in picking up the ideas. Don't be lazy in learning from your own experience. That's why you've heard from some people that have shared their testimonial here and given you some of their ideas, ways, and means of taking this product to the marketplace, making it work for you. We've devoted most of our time for that, and well, we should. Learning is the beginning of wealth. Learning is the beginning of life change. Some people want to start with motivation, but you don't start with motivation.
You can tell we don't spend that much time on motivation. Right? Some companies, right, by now they'd be standing on the chairs, waving the flag, singing the old gray mare or some silly thing. That's not Herbalife. We got a serious task to do. And we're here, enough motivation, certainly. But here's the best motivation we've got going. The proof of our success. When we bring our success stories to this platform, that's enough motivation. When we bring our dedication and let it show, we let the work of our hands show, that's the motivation we want. Right? Not just excitement. Just excitement alone won't do it. Somebody says, just motivate this guy, he'll be all right. The answer is no, probably not. If a guy's an idiot, you motivate him, now you got a motivated idiot. No. So education, get smart, don't miss the training class. You say, well, I've already been to one of those classes. I've already heard it. I got a good phrase for you to take home. That's no sign you got it. Just because you've listened to those millionaire tapes one time is no sign you've got it. I'm asking you to listen to them over and over and over. I'm asking you to dedicate yourself to a new level of learning in 1992. When I travel with Mark Hughes, he's got his book open. He's got a book open. He's reading. He's studying. Lives of successful people. Lives of despicable people. You know, study, learn, grow, change, develop. Never let it be said you didn't learn. Right? If you want to solve your problems, you got to learn. If you want to take advantage of an opportunity, you got to learn. We can't come here and just give you the marketing plan, give you the product, send you home. We got to stay for a while. Learn, stay for a while. Right? Put on those cassettes and stay for a while. Right? We asked you to come here for a couple of days and stay for a while. Do some learning. Take it back home. So, number 2, to have your best year ever, a good piece of that 400 million, make your dreams come true. Number 1 is get serious. Number 2, get smart. Develop your own personal philosophy here. Philosophy, major determining factor in how your life works out. Each person's philosophy is like the set of the sail. The same wind blows on us all. The difference in where we arrive at the end of the week, at the end of the month, at the end of the year is not the wind that blows. And the wind is blowing around the world. The world is in solution. Things are a-changing. The walls have come down. All kinds of things are happening. In Russia today, the winds are blowing. But what's going to make the major difference? Each person's personal philosophy that sets a better sail, sets a better sail. So don't ask for a more favorable wind. That's like wishing something that's not going to occur. Don't ask for better seed and soil. All you got's what's available. Don't curse what you got. On this planet, all we got's the seed that's here, the soil that's here, the miracle of life that's here, the opportunity that's here, the seasons that are here. That's all we got. Wherever you've come from in your country, the economy you got, that's all you got. In America, our economy, that's all we got. The government, that's all we got. The marketplace, that's all we got. Whatever you do, don't criticize all you got. The key is to set a better sail and turn what you've got into the miracle of your future. Don't wish it was easier. Wish you were better. Don't wish for less problems. Wish for more skills. And that's the reason for coming here, spending a couple of days of intense effort, taking notes, rolling up your sleeves, going to work, commit yourself to learning so that you can get smarter for the days ahead. Develop your philosophy. Herbalife's philosophy has carried it now, these 12 years, to extraordinary heights. Those that do the work get the pay. A philosophy that commits itself to having the finest no matter what it costs. That kind of philosophy. I'm asking you to develop your own personal philosophy. Get your business philosophy going. Get your financial plan going. Don't violate the conclusions of your own philosophy by not executing and taking action. But that's number 2, get smart. Here's number 3, get going. As smart as you might become after these 2 days, as many ideas as you take away from here, they're truly, as Larry mentioned, like seeds to be planted in the soil. You got to get going. You got to take action. The disciplines is the miracle process. And here's how to get the miracle of your future going as far as disciplines are concerned. Number 1, do what you can. You might go home and set a whole new pace for yourself, and we call it cleaning up neglect. Should walk around the block, could walk around the block for your good health, don't walk around the block. See, you're on the wrong track. Should read, could read, don't read, on the wrong track. Should call, could call, don't call, on the wrong track. Could change, should change, don't change. You're on the wrong track. Letters you haven't written, conversations you haven't had with your family, somebody you should sit down with when you get back home, get that job done. Don't let neglect destroy your days, destroy your life, and destroy your future. Go back and do what you can. And if you'll do what you can, then life will give you some extraordinary things to do. We all pity the man, right? Wants to stride out of his house, go straighten out the corporation, has not yet straightened out his garage. You got to take care of the small disciplines before life will give you a chance to handle the more complicated disciplines. How do you think Mark Hughes got here? Scattered now throughout 14, 15 countries, another 14, 15 coming up. I mean, how do you do this? You start first with the smallest of disciplines, and do not neglect them and do not disregard them as being trifling. Everything matters. Everything's important. Good phrase to take home. All disciplines affect each other. In fact, here's a good philosophical phrase. If you hadn't thought of it before, here it is. Everything affects everything else. It's so easy to be casual and say, well, this doesn't matter. This doesn't matter. I'm telling you, everything matters. Of course, some things matter more than others, but there isn't anything that doesn't matter. Then here's the positive side. Every new discipline affects all your other disciplines. If you'll get some new things going, make some calls you've never made before, step up your activity level, step up your labor level, develop the skills from these 2 days of training here, and you'll go home and work some miracles on your days and your life and your future and your income, your business, and a bigger portion of that 400 million will certainly be yours. Go for the disciplines, the smallest of disciplines, the least of disciplines. Like keeping your accounts in order, the smallest of disciplines. Did you ever hear this expression? I don't know where it all goes. Did you ever hear that? I don't know where it all goes. Wow. Oh, we'd love to have you run Herbalife. You don't know where it all goes. How long do you think we'd last here in Herbalife if that was your philosophy sitting at the top like Mark Hughes? Let me give you the story on Mark Hughes. Mark knows where everything goes. And he started back when he only had pennies. He started back when he only had dollars. He started back when he didn't have much. But here's the key. One of the greatest extraordinary phrases that's ever been written from antiquity says, if you'll be faithful, if you'll be disciplined when the amounts are small, we'll make you a ruler, give you a position of authority when the amounts are many. Somebody says, I've only got 2 or 3 distributors, I don't know where they are. Come on. If you've only got 2 or 3, you can know when they get up. You can know when they go to bed. You can know all the details. Take care of your disciplines when the amounts are small. And then life will see to it that you get some extraordinary numbers to work with, like you saw the stories displayed here. Do not disregard the smallest of disciplines. Let us not neglect. Do not neglect the smallest of disciplines. And build on that foundation, and you can have everything you could possibly want. Okay? Get going. Here's number 4. Get better. There isn't any of us that can't get better. So turn on this whole idea of personal development and personal growth. That was what my teacher shared with me that changed my life, starting a few steps from here at that convention. I'm telling you, for things to get better, you got to get better. Don't ask for it to change out there. Ask for you to change here. Don't ask for a more favorable wind. We call that naive. Don't ask for better seed, better soil. This is the only planet you got. Just ask that you can get wiser and stronger and better and be able to take care of your own Some stuff I did on satellite many, many years ago. Let me just review those notes for you on this getting better part. Learn how to handle the seasons of life. Number one, learn how to handle the winters. We're all going to go through some winters. Herbalife's been through a few. Just the winters of the calendar in the last 12 years, how many winters? About 12. But it's not just the winters of the calendar. It's not just the winters of the seasons. There's all kinds of winters. The winter when you can't figure it out. The winter when it all goes wrong. The winter when you have all kinds of hecklers on a telephone call. Right? The winter when you get that first half dozen refunds. The winters of your life. Social winters. Political winters that we're going through around the world. Okay? Economic winters that a lot of people are experiencing these days. Personal winters when your heart is smashed in 1,000 pieces and the nights are unusually long. It is simply called winter time. But here's what you've got to do in your own personal development, your own personal growth, and that is just get better at handling the winters. You can't change the winter. You can't change the seasons, but you can change yourself. You say, well, what can I do about the upcoming winters of my life, the challenges that I know I'm going to face? Here's what you can do. You can get wiser and stronger and better. Just make a list of that trio of words. Wiser, stronger, and better. Go home smarter than you came. Go home with more ideas than you came with. Next, get stronger. You can develop the muscle. You can develop the courage muscle. You can develop the inspiration muscle. You can develop the dedication muscle. You can get stronger. There isn't anybody here that can't get stronger. Next time we see you, may not even recognize you, how strong you're going to be able to become in language, in style, in personality, the ability to cope, the ability to handle with anything that happens, no matter what happens. And the third one is get better. We can all get better. I've gotten better. First talk I gave, I stood up, my mind sat back down. I love to wait for the translation to finish, see if I can get some more reaction here. But here's the secret to my success. I stood up and did it again. I stood up and I did it again. And I did it again and I did it again all those many years ago. I did it when I was scared, and I did it when I didn't want to, and I did it when I was ill. And I did it when it didn't work well, and I did it when they didn't appreciate it, and I didn't a lot of times when I didn't know much what I was doing. I just did it anyway. And now all these years later, I'm asked to walk on this stage with the greatest introduction I've ever had, greatest response and welcome I've ever had, the greatest opportunity I've ever had to touch this many lives with a mixture of words and heart and soul. I got better. I got better day by day and week by week and month by month, and I'm asking you to do the same thing until you can develop a long arm and a long reach, until you can develop influence that won't quit. Touch people next year you couldn't touch this year. Touch people now you couldn't touch before. Conduct a meeting now you couldn't conduct before. Heart and soul now mixed in there that wasn't there, missing before. I'm asking all of you to get better in spite of the winters, in spite of the downturn, the money downturn, the social downturn, the personal downturn, whatever it is. Just get stronger. Get better. We've all got those personal winters. We know what those are like. Barbara Streisand sings, it used to be so natural to talk about forever, but used to be's don't count anymore. They just lay on the floor till we sweep them away. You don't sing me love songs. You don't say you need me, and you don't bring me flowers anymore. A winter song. But hey, we're acquainted with all those personal winters and all the rest of it. The key is not to wish for a better winter. The key is to wish for more strength, more wisdom, more courage, get better, get wiser, get stronger. Here's number 2. Learn to take advantage of the spring. Spring means opportunity. And we've got a fresh spring going here. It's called a spring like no other. A spring, an opportunity like no other for you. But here's the clue. Spring is not a guarantee of a harvest in the fall and the autumn harvest time. Here's what you must learn to do. Underline the 2 words if you're taking notes. Take advantage. Take advantage of the spring. Don't just be faked out by the spring because the nice weather has come and looks like everything is going to be a lot better. The winter's finally passed, the spring is here. I'm telling you, that's not going to do it for you. Just because the spring is here, it's not going to do it for you. You got to seize it with your own two hands and take advantage. Read the books, study the tapes, go back through your notes, get ready to cash in on the spring. And now there's a sense of urgency here. Here's why. Spring doesn't last that long. To be able to say, I just got back, doesn't last that long. It's called the springtime of opportunity. Postpone a few things in the springtime. Get the job done. Set aside a few things in the springtime. Get the job done. Where I was raised, in Idaho farm country, what if you asked a farmer to go bowling in the spring? What would he probably say? He would say, you're insane. You can go bowling in the winter. When you can't plant the crop, you can't go bowling in the spring. You've only got a certain piece of time, and you got to get it done in that certain window of opportunity. And that's what we've got here, a window of opportunity. Let's take advantage of it. It's called take advantage of the spring. And there's also an urgency here. How many springs have you got in a lifetime? Not very many. Life is brief at the longest. The Beatles wrote, life is very short. And for John Lennon, it was extra short. For Michael Landon, it was extra short. But it is short. There's an urgency here. Don't waste your springs. Don't just let them pass, hoping the time will pass. Take advantage. Last year, it was seize the moment. And I'm asking you now this season to seize the spring opportunity. You've got a new organization going, seize the spring. You've got a new distributor going, seize the spring. You've got a new life situation going, seize the spring. Take advantage of it. Don't let it pass without giving it the best of your two hands and your attention. Number 3, first, learn how to handle the winter. Second, take advantage of the spring. Number 3, in the summer, learn to nourish and protect. We've got some major challenges now come summertime. One is to nourish our values, take care of them, feed them. Don't let them go hungry. Don't let them go wanting in nourishment and care. And then here's something else we've got to do in the summer. Defend ourselves against the enemies. Summertime is a unique time. It's a time of opportunity. It's also a time of challenge. But what else is new? It's what life is called. The last 6,500 years reads like this: opportunity mixed with difficulty. Opportunity mixed with challenge. We've got a chance to grow like never before, but I'm telling you, there's going to be many enemies that's going to try to prevent us. As soon as you plant the garden, the busy bugs and the noxious weeds are out to take it, and you've got to learn not only to nourish your values, you've got to learn to do battle with your enemies. Whatever threatens you, I'm asking you to threaten it back. Take care of your responsibility, but don't take anything off of anybody. Somebody wants to destroy your chances for a good future by their negative talk, negative thinking, putting it all down. I'm telling you, walk away if you have to. Walk away. Whatever threatens you, threaten it back. Whatever threatens your opportunity, threaten it back. Now, some of our enemies are on the outside, but here's the most important thing to understand. Some of our enemies are on the inside. Let me give you a quick list. Indifference. You got to do battle with your own indifference. Boy, it's easy to coast, especially if you've accomplished something, extraordinary. Now, somebody says, well, I got to relax. Here's the key: not too long. The weeds will take all you plant if you rest too long. Don't rest too long. Indecision. You got to make those decisions. The ones that don't turn out to be good gives you experience to make better decisions. Don't let much time go by without making some decisions. The ones that you can make quickly, make them quickly. The ones that take time, take your time. But get those decisions made. Don't let indecision be an enemy, rob you of the future, empty your bank account, leave you with zero in the purse. Don't let that happen. The next one is doubt. Sure, there's doubts on the outside. People doubt that America's going to make it. People doubt that Europe's going to make it. People doubt that Russia's going to make it, that Poland's going to make it, that Czechoslovakia is going to make it. They doubt the whole world is going to make it. But I'm asking you not to pick up all those doubts. I'm asking you to have some faith, have some courage, believe, drive your doubts into a small corner. Don't let them loose like a mad dog, drive you into a small corner. Don't doubt the future. Don't doubt the possibilities. Don't doubt the extraordinary gifts that your distributors bring to your organization. Don't doubt that. And here's the most important one of all. Don't doubt yourself. If I've got miracle working power to change my life, so do you. If I've got the ability to change, so do you. If I've got the ability to read, so do you. If I can discover, so can you. If I can grow, you can grow. If I can develop, you can develop. If I can get an invitation like I got 6 years ago, help take something around the world, so can you. If I can stand on this platform, Idaho farm boy raised in obscurity, so can you. If the millionaire team can do it, president's team can do it, walk off with the diamonds, the trophies, so can you. I'm asking you, don't sell yourself short. We haven't sold you short. That's why Mark, Larry, and Dr. Katzen and I have decided to invest a big share of our life these 4 days in being with all of you. If we didn't think you were worth it, we wouldn't have showed up. We don't need to conduct another meeting. We don't need to walk on another stage. We don't need to get up early like we get up. Don't need it. Except for the challenge and the opportunity to invest in this many people's lives who wouldn't get up early, to have a chance to work miracles and invest in this many people's lives and help turn the world upside down for better nutrition called Herbalife. Here's the next one, worry. I'm asking you to drive worry into a small corner. You got to worry some. All this negative stuff serves some purpose, but the key is for you to be the master, not the servant. If it's 2 o'clock in the morning and your daughter's not home yet, best you worry. In New York City, if you step off the curb and one of those yellow taxis is coming, best you worry. But here's what I'm asking you to do. You be the master of worry. Drive it into a small corner. Don't let it loose. And I'm asking you to go home with some new faith and some new courage. I'm asking you, don't worry. Drive it into a small corner. We've all got concerns, and sometimes we all wonder, and sometimes there's a little crack of doubt. We worry a little, but I'm telling you, drive it into a small corner. Drive your worries into a small corner. I promise you, from this platform, the dedication of the executives that you've seen and the president's team members and the people that have walked off with 1 through 10, I'm telling you, we're all dedicated to help this Herbalife future that includes all of you be the most spectacular thing that's happened in the 90s. I promise you not to worry because you're in good hands. You're in good hands. And now what I want you to be able to say, if you give Mark Hughes a telephone call, or if you have a chance to talk to Mark Hughes in person, whatever village you've come from, whatever street you've come from, wherever you've come from, I'd like for you to be able to say sincerely and honestly, with all the dedication you possibly can, Mark Hughes, I want you to go to bed at night and sleep like a baby, because where I came from, when I go back and represent Herbalife in that community, I want to reassure you, Mark Hughes, Herbalife in that community is in good hands. I want some of you from Germany, get together, form a little coalition from Germany. After you've gotten out there and gotten your hands into it, and you've had a chance to work and labor for a while, send Mark Hughes a message and say, Mark Hughes, the distributors that have now joined forces in Germany, you can rest easy, Mark Hughes. In Germany, Herbalife is in good hands. And all of the rest of the countries, make that your dedication. Make it personally. Make it collectively as an organization. This incredible opportunity has been dropped in our lap. It's been given to us. We're going to take it to the marketplace, and we're going to take it to the marketplace with good hands, steady hands, growing hands, intelligent hands that can go touch people and get the job done. I'm asking you to commit to that. Herbalife is in good hands. Couple of more enemies of the mind you got to do battle with in the summer. One is pessimism, that tries to get you only to see the negative side. Of course, there's the negative side. Life is part negative. What else is new? If the glass is half empty, it is half empty. You say, well, I've been only taught to see that it's half full. Well, sure, it's half full. But it's also half empty. I mean, can't you handle that? I mean, you know, that's not too difficult. But here's what pessimism would try to get you to do. Believe that it's only half empty. And when pessimism comes to your mind, you've got to educate pessimism, because pessimism is stupid. Pessimism tries to get you to believe that it's only half empty. You got to say, pessimism, you've never been to school. Too dumb and stupid to know. Of course it's half empty, but it's not only half empty. It's also half full. I'm asking you to be in charge. Be in charge of your own mind. Be in charge of your own destiny. Do battle with your enemy in the summertime. In the summertime, you got to learn to love like a mother. Hate like a father. Give life like a mother. Nourish. Take life like a father. Father says to whatever threatens his family, take 2 or 3 more steps toward this family and threaten them, you'll cease to exist. I'm father. I kill. Do battle with your enemies. Now, it's also possible to love like a father and hate like a mother. I'm not saying that isn't possible. Nothing more dangerous than an angry mother. I saw an article in a magazine a little bit ago up in Canada. It showed a man with some claw marks on his back, had his shirt off, big teeth marks in his neck. This man was out in the woods, had his flash camera, saw a mama bear with a little cub, thought, though, this is cute, took a flash picture. Mama bear takes unkindly to this flash picture. Promptly chases the man, catches him, almost kills him before somebody rescued him. So, beware, mama bear. Okay? Love like a father, hate like a mother, give life like a mother, take life like a father, however you want to arrange it, just so you nourish your values, nourish your family, nourish what's valuable for you, nourish your organization, nourish your distributors, nourish your customers, take care of your responsibilities, feed, nourish. But then I'm also asking you to do battle with your enemies. Take sword to your enemies. Whatever's going to destroy those values, take sword to it. If it's worry, take sword to it. If it's threat, threaten back. You got to be like your bloodstream. Good illustration. Red corpuscles to nourish, like a mother. White corpuscles to fight and kill, like a father. You got to do some negative thinking. Can't just think positive. Thank God for white corpuscles that think negative all day. White corpuscles say, just show me some infection, I'll kill it. Whatever threatens this body and its future gets threatened. Whatever's got to kill this body gets killed. I'm asking you, take sword to your enemies, whether they're on the outside or whether they're on the inside. Protect your family, protect your future, protect your values. Love, nourish, but also do battle with whatever's out there to do battle with you. Take some courage from some of those that have been through the battle. They've given you their stories on this stage. They've been through it. They know what it's all about. Take some courage from that. And in the summer, do battle and nourish. Now here's the last one. In the harvest time, number 4. Take your harvest and all that comes your way with full responsibility. Don't complain. That 4th season, complaining, I'm telling you, could ruin all of your chances. Complaining sometimes starts as an infection. If you don't take care of it, it becomes a disease. Do battle with it. In the harvest time, reap your harvest without complaint. It's your crop, you sowed it. You either made the calls or didn't make the calls. You wrote the letters, you didn't write the letters. You were steady or you weren't steady. You did it or you didn't do it. You put together a good day or you didn't put together a good day. Take responsibility when the harvest time finally comes and say, hey, it's my crop. Got to take responsibility for it. I do not complain. And then here's the next one. Do not apologize if you've done well. We offer no apologies when these winners that walked across this stage here go back to their communities. We offer no apology for making the kind of money they make. Because of the lives they touched and the people that they helped. No telling what would have happened if these people had not touched many people's lives, who touched many people's lives. When you go back to the community, all of you that were winners here, I ask you to go back with no apology. Because you've done your job well and you've given good hands to everybody you've touched. You deserve all the money. Next, under getting better, I just want to make this list of 4 words. 4 words. First, we talked about getting serious. Second, get smart. Third, get going. 4th is get better. And here's 4 good words to take home. 1 is absorb. Develop the skill and the ability to absorb everything. Be like a sponge like you've been today. This has been a good, serious group. I appreciate that. You've worked as hard as we have up here on this platform. You've rolled up your sleeve and you've gone to work and you've taken notes, and I appreciate that. Absorb everything you can. Absorb the sights and the sounds and the color. Guess what you're going to want to do? Go back home and invest this experience into other people's lives, and you can't invest it if you haven't got it. So I'm asking you to appreciate the color. I'm asking you to appreciate the auditorium. I'm asking you to appreciate what's going on here. I'm asking you to appreciate each other. Soak this all up. Soak it all up. It's called absorb, absorb, absorb. Then when you get back home, you can give out, give out, give out. And you'll have an extraordinary effect on the people that you reach out and touch. Here's the next one. Develop the ability to respond. That's what got me almost 6 years ago. Mark and Larry made that call. I responded. It touched me. The vision they gave me, the story they gave me, the pictures they painted, and the numbers they gave me, what we could do together, the team we could build, dominate the industry, walk head and shoulders above anything else that's out there, have an extraordinary adventure that's only been given to a few, a chance to walk the summit, got me, touched me. Now I'm asking you, however, not only to be touched with the summit numbers, the 400 million, I'm asking you to be touched with the smallest of people's challenges. Don't just be touched with the challenge. I'm asking you to be touched with the problem. Let people's problems get to you. Let people's problems touch your heart this year like never before. Be touched. Let life touch you. Don't let it kill you, but let it touch you. The problems that are out there, people struggling with their economy, struggling with their health, struggling with their future, I'm asking you to let that get around your heart. Let it do something to you. Don't go untouched. Don't go unmoved. When you walk out of here, open yourself up. Don't build up the walls. The same wall that keeps out disappointment keeps out happiness and opportunity. Take the walls down. Let yourself be touched by what's going on out there. Let sad things make you sad, as well as happy things make you happy. Let your heart get touched, and you'll have good hands then to take this product to the marketplace. Here's number 3. Develop the ability to reflect. Long after this session is over, I'm asking you to go back over it one more time. I'm asking you at the end of the day, go back over your day. I'm asking you at the end of the week, go back over your week. Make that week more valuable. At the end of the month, go back over your month. At the end of a conversation, go back over the conversation. How did it go and what did you do? Learn by reflecting. I call it run the tapes again of your own experiences. And you say, why do that? Here's why. To develop the extraordinary ability to gather up the past and invest it in the future. What a next year you could have if you pay more attention this year, soak it up, gather it up, and reflect at certain times what's going on and what's happening. And this year will take a more powerful place in your experience. And then when you get ready to deliver in 1993, people will not believe the words you've chosen. They will not believe the heart and soul that you've mixed with words. They won't believe the power you've got. A few simple things here under getting better. Then here's the last one, and that's to share. We've got this extraordinary opportunity now. Let us not keep it. Let us share it. Let us reach out with a long reach, a strong reach, an unprecedented reach. Let us reach out and touch people not just with our opportunity. Let's touch people with our lives. Let's touch people with our experiences. Let's touch people with our heart and soul. Let's don't just touch people with a marketing plan and a distributor kit. Let's touch people with their health, yes. With an opportunity, yes. But here's a commitment I'd like to have you make to me. Let's help people with their lives, not just their health. Let's help people with their lives, not just their income. Let it be said, if they were around us 1 week, 1 month, or a lifetime, that when they got around us, not only did we talk about money, not only did we talk about product, we talked about life. We talked about getting better. We talked about becoming all that you can become. We talked about picking up a challenge. I can see the possibilities. I can see the opportunity. I can see that if I take a hold of this thing, I can change my life. I can see it. I can see it. I can see it. I'm asking you, don't miss the chance to work miracles with your words. Get excited about your possibility to work miracles with words. And now here's my last word to you, and I'm finished for this day. But let me give you this last one. To make this your best year ever, get away. Get away, balance your life. Take care of your family. Take care of your responsibilities. Take care of your spirituality. Take care of good friendships. We've got to have some friends. That's why I'm here. I made these extraordinary friendships way back when. They've lasted all these years, now got me an invitation to participate in something so extraordinary. This came about from a friendship. Now, I had the skills. Somebody says, well, you know, they offered you millions and a chance here just because you were friends. No, you don't just offer your friends millions. No. They got to have some skills. So I did bring skills, but I'm telling you, my chance to bring my gifts and my skills to you today was because I nourished these friendships over all these years. So make sure you balance your life, family, friendship. Friends are those people who know all about you and still like you. Okay? You got to have some of those. Take care of your spirituality, balance your life. We talk about nutrition, we talk about exercise, we talk about money, we talk about future, and then all the rest of it. Don't leave anything out.